Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiot's here. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy whatever you celebrate. Happy Festivus, maybe. Festivus. Yeah, Festivus for the rest of us. Yeah. Guess who was the Grinch? Guess who came in, took that winning streak once again? Streak busters in effect once again. Yes, Cleveland, we got your number. Yeah, we got your number. I love seeing all the salty tears of Cleveland fans this morning on Twitter. Man, y'all are pathetic the way y'all talk. You like saying stuff like we foul y'all every single time. We're a physical team. Y'all need to be ready to play us. But yeah, we messed y'all up last night in your own building. What a fun game last night. Really, really good balanced attack between our starters last night. I really love seeing four of the main starters really contributing in a major way, in equal ways, and like really together fitting real well and just dominant. Just being dominant. Such a fun game last night. I'm going to get right into the comments. And of course, we'll do the 3 stars of the game for me and all kinds of other reaction to things that happened last night. What a fantastic, glorious game last night by the Raptors. And yes, let's take it one game at a time. We don't play again until Tuesday against the Clippers. And we'll have to see if Kawhi is going to be playing against us. They have to play Detroit on Monday night, the Los Angeles Clippers, and then they come in and see us on Tuesday. Now, listen, Detroit's not as good, LA. So sit Kawhi on Monday. I want him to play here on Tuesday. We need to give him the hero's welcome back here in Toronto finally. All these other champion Raptors have gotten a great ovation from the crowd at Scotiabank Arena. Kawhi, you need to come and get yours. So please save yourself for Monday's game and come play us on Tuesday. I don't care if it's harder to beat them with Kawhi playing. We need to see him get his just due for the amazing thing that he did in 2019 when he was a Toronto Raptor and helping us get to a championship. He deserves the kudos and adulation from our Scotiabank crowd. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I hope that this happens. But still, we got to do Christmas first and, have a couple days off. So let's see what you guys are saying in the comments so far this morning. All right, first one is Logical Raptors fanatic Mike. Good morning and happy holidays to you. Salute real ones. Project Truth always, as always. What a win. That's how the offense is supposed to look when everything is in balance. Offensive back in sync. For now, great team win. Everyone played solid and did them. We did them. One of the great things about last night is that we saw a little bit of a correction with our shooting percentage. That, our shooting percentage has been so anemic this season, and it's not really like true for us. This is not the way we're supposed to have been shooting. We really have been in a slump, and we really have been shooting poorly to a below average that's like not normal for us at all. Last night may have been a little bit of an overcorrection and maybe a little bit better than normal for us. But still, this is more close to what we should be doing normally than what we had been doing. 19 3-pointers on 37 shots, 51% from the 3-point line last night. And the other team, 11 for 33, 33% from that line. We got 8 more threes than them. You do the math. That's a big part of the lead right there for the Raptors over the Cavs last night. Now, I'll keep going on these team stats real quick because they're fun. Our field goal percentage was 50% exactly. We took 84 shots. They took 76, so we got 8 more net shots, and we made 42 of them, and they only made 39. They actually did shoot better than us, 51%, but we got so many more shots and we shot really well already. We still made up and beat them in that category. The free throws, they were getting more free throws during the game, but they missed way more free throws than us. And in fact, it was quite comical watching Donovan Mitchell miss 2 free throws in a row late in the game. Okoro, Stevens, these guys were all bricking and missing free throws, and it was fun. I was watching the game with my parents, and when they would get to the line, I'd go, miss. And my mom was like, how are you doing that? How does the guy miss when you're just saying miss through the TV? But it was happening. It was very crazy how much they were missing free throws, and I really loved that. We did out-rebound them last night. It was fantastic. 45 rebounds to 35, 11 offensive rebounds. Just so pretty to see. We got the 25 assists that I cherish. That is the magic number. Raptors, you hit it right on the nail. 95 assists. 25 assists yesterday to 27 assists for them, but who cares? We won. 10 steals were a huge factor. The turnovers were a problem. That may have been our worst category last night. We did turn the ball over a lot. But that's Cleveland. Cleveland's defense really tries to pry a lot of turnovers off on the team that they play. That's a secret to their success. Well, we let them do that to an extent, but we balanced it out in other ways in other parts of the game to make up for 19 turnovers. That's not like us. We are taking care of the ball this year, if anything. And the fact that we had 19 turnovers in such a good performance last night really is a testament to how good the Cleveland team is with their defense and prying the ball loose. We got it on the break, 27 fast break points, and they beat us in the points in the paint, but it was pretty even, 44 to 46. Just a fantastic game all around by the Raptors. We had the lead up to 26 points at one point in the third quarter. And that was just joyous. It was just fun. Seeing that Cleveland fans look so disappointed, so upset, ruining their Christmas, being literally the Grinches. We really did Grinch their asses in their own building. Those people tried to get to the game in treacherous weather, made the effort, came down there and got to sit there and watch their team lose. Hey, that's fun. Santa Claus was sitting in the front row. Yeah, Santa, you look a little dismayed at the end of the game. Well, I didn't know you were a Cavs fan. Well, I'm a Grinch fan. And we came in there and Grinch y'all's asses last night. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's go, Raptors! Yeah. All right, let me keep reading y'all's comments. If the refs didn't get involved in the second half and throw Cleveland their hair like Rapunzel, we win by 40. That's from Nameless. Nameless, I'm going to say something about the referees last night. Tyler Ford, you know what? I have a little bit more respect for you after last night. You really did handle and control the game very well. I like the fact that they weren't calling touchy fouls. There really wasn't a lot of calling on touchy fouls last night. Everything was an earned foul last night. There was a lot of physicality, and there was a lot of letting them play last night. I have no problem with that. But it is true. There was a little bit of helping them near the end to get to the line and getting some calls, trying to help them maybe orient them towards trying to come towards us to get the win. But no. It wasn't enough. Even if they did some silly shit, it wasn't enough. And we had it all in the bag, and we were on the destiny to win this game last night. We saw each of the starters for the Raptors get the travel call, at least one for each of them throughout the game. We saw Fred get one. We saw Gary get one. We saw Scottie get one. We saw OG get one. We saw Pascal get one. It was almost like they all had to get their one travel call for the game. And those were part of the reason why the turnovers were high for us. Those travel calls were really annoying. And they did call a couple of them the other way on Cleveland, but not as many as they called on us. So I can't really say that the refs were awful, because honestly, they were actually impressing me last night. I really enjoyed Tyler Ford, the way he called the game for the most part. He was making me cheer him at times because he wasn't calling stuff and he was letting us play. There were times when the Cleveland crowd got really loud and reacted to things that Pascal did, like with his dribble. And they were like yelling, travel, travel. And they didn't bow to that peer pressure of the crowd and said, nope. And then there was that one offensive play where Pascal really did kind of push the guy off of him to make room. And he made it, but they did not call that either. So in some ways, we're seeing some respect for Pascal from the refs getting built. This is something that may not have happened for him 2 years ago, but you get 50 points in Madison Square Garden, all of a sudden you're going to get a little bit more respect around the league. And I think they were calling him a little bit more like, this is a guy who just dropped 50 in Madison Square Garden, and we need to respect that. And I feel like the refs are starting to come around on that. Now, I just love the different attacks of OG, Pascal, and Scottie, and them alternating in what they do and how they got their points. The two of those guys got 26 points. Let's do the stars of the game. Why not right now? First star of the game is Scottie Barnes, guys. And there's a lot of reasons why I picked Scottie to be the first star, other than, well, he had the interview at the end of the game. And, this is the thing. He got criticized so much this week. Doug Smith, fuck you. You are a piece of shit writing for the Toronto Star, putting on the sports section in the newspaper here, your stupid article about how Scottie needs to work harder in the summer. You dumbass, you were not there. I had 137 hours of watching him on Twitch, and he was working out every single day. He was working hard. There's a reason why his shoulders and his arms look bigger right now, because he worked really hard this summer, and he added muscle and strength to his game that is allowing him to bully people around the basket. And Doug Smith, you don't know what the fuck he did last summer, so you need to shut the fuck up. And I'm so glad that Raptors Freaks and Raptors Nation is coming after Doug Smith today for his stupid ass article this week. They're coming after him on Twitter. They're coming after him all the different ways. He's saying, I'm sick of this garbage coming after me. Well, you know what, motherfucker? You write stupid ass hot take, dumbass articles like you did this week. You were going to get what you get. This is a social media age. This isn't the same age when you started writing newspaper. You could just write the article and sit back and nobody had any way of getting to you unless they wrote a letter to the editor or something to you in your email. Nah, this is Twitter. You're going to be put on blast. You're going to put people on blast for things. Well, we're going to come back and show you the receipts and put you on blast for making a dumbass, asinine, hot take like that. Yeah, Doug Smith, fuck you. That's what I'm saying right now. So last night's game, in some ways, was a big fuck you for Doug Smith from Scottie Barnes. And I love it. 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 Because the man looks so dominant. Listen, what is Scottie Barnes' position? What is his position? I have no idea. Is he a small forward? Is he a power forward? Is he a point guard? Is he a center? I think he's a center, because last night he was mixing it up with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and he looked like he was the same size as them. In fact, he was out rebounding them. We see that really great putback late in the game, very clutch. Pascal shoots the ball. He misses. Who's jumping up in the air and grabbing the ball and jamming it down in the middle of two of their two twin towers? Ooh, Mobley and Allen. Ooh, well, fucking Scottie got in there and messed y'all up like a center would. And I love that so much, because that man is a center. He can play center offensive down low because he can just get down there and do whatever the fuck he wants. The future is so bright. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, if you are a real Raptors fan and you love this team, you will allow Scottie Barnes to have a 2-point game from time to time. You allow Scottie Barnes to have a shit the bed kind of game that maybe like, whoa, why did we draft this guy? No, fuck that. We know why we drafted this guy, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it more and more, and it's going to come. And I just want everybody to give Scottie every allowance and excuse in the world going on from now. Because if you can see the difference between a two-point game the other day and what he did last night, let's look at his stat line right now. And you can see that there's going to be way more sunshine than gloom down the road. 40 minutes, 10 of 16, 10 of 16. 5 of 5 at the line. I love the focus on the line. He made those free throws and made them important, and he made all 5 of them. 4 offensive rebounds, 10 rebounds altogether. He had a double-double. 4 assists, 2 steals, only 2 turnovers, a plus 12, 25 points. Scottie Barnes bouncing back from a 2-point output in the last game and shutting his critics up. Literally shutting them up and making them look so stupid today. Listen, no more talking about Scottie and whether he's doing well or growth or not. You just let the man play. Let him come and suit up and go to the game and just enjoy what he's doing. Because I'm so sick of everybody getting put under a microscope this year. Fred, Pascal, Scottie, y'all are putting them under a microscope too much. Players will have different levels of games from game to game. Sometimes that has to do with matchup. Sometimes it has to do with personal life and things that are going on behind the scenes. Sometimes it has to do with a nagging injury. So that's what we need to shut up and just allow them to play and try and hope and pray that they're playing to the best of their ability night in, night out. Because listen, these dudes are good. We saw last night, they just messed up the number 3 team in the Eastern Conference. Like, we deserve to be up there with Boston and Milwaukee. JB Bickerstaff after the game said this record for the Raptors does not indicate how good they are, that they are very dangerous and they're very scary. And he's like, he was so upset with his team last night. He's like, I don't know what to do with this, with Toronto. It's like, but Nick Nurse, meanwhile, it's like they're asking Nick, they're saying, well, you beat Cleveland 3 times already this season. You won the season series. That's right, baby. We can say that. We fucking beat them 3-0 already this year. And they're asking, Nick, why is this? Why do you guys beat Cleveland so much? He's like, well, I think they're just catching us when we're playing really well. And it could be true that if they caught us like a week or 2 earlier, that they would have blown us out and that we're just in the right place again at this time. And they just happen to have the misfortune of playing us when we're finally getting our shit back together. When you realize that this is how it works in the NBA, That's, like I said, different teams in the league are at different places of the schedule, that you do have lucky breaks when you catch teams at different times when they may be sliding or having trouble or an injury, and they're a totally different team. Because this is a totally different team that Cleveland lost to last night than the team that got beat by Orlando 2 games in a row down in Orlando recently, than the team that just lost by 3 points to Philadelphia on Monday night, the team that just barely lost to Sacramento. This is a different team, and it's the bad luck of the Cleveland Cavaliers that you got to face us the first night of the season, that other game that we beat y'all, and then this one last night. And I love it so much. It's so good. My second star for the game last night is O.G.encouraging. And the reason why I'm picking OG is because he did it on both sides of the court last night. He was an offensive threat, and he was dialed in 6 for 9 from 3-point range. It was so nice to see that OG 3-point laser back in effect. 6 of 9. That is a great shot percentage just for regular, like 2-pointers around the basket. But this is the man was shooting 6 for 9 from the 3-point, 10 of 16 overall, just like Scottie. 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 26 points for O.G.encouraging. Now, that is only half of the story, though. I can tell you about what he did with the threes and the scoring and the bully ball and the little bit of like getting the ball like lobbed to him down the court, and he's right under the basket and he jams it. He's actually underneath the basket and he's stretched out and put it up over in, make sure it went in. I could talk about all that, but the most important thing he did last night, y'all know what it is. He cut that water off on Donovan Mitchell, just like we wanted him to. We said that yesterday. OG, go shut off Donovan's water and be a plumber last night. Well, he did be a plumber last night. Once again, Donovan Mitchell's numbers were anemic last night against the Raptors. We just have his kryptonite. If he's a Superman to the rest of the league, well, we got his kryptonite. Call me Lex Luthor, because we got his kryptonite. 35 minutes for Donovan, 4 of 16. I love that it was the 4-1-6 and the shooting percentage, 4 for 16, 3 for 12 from 3, 1 for 4 at the line. Hilarious. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 12 points for Donovan. 12 points. What is that? That is an off night for Mr. Donovan Mitchell for sure. And why does this keep happening when he plays the Raptors? I can go look at his game log. In all the games he plays, 36 points, 23, 25, 41, 34, 28, 43, 23, 34. And then boom, there's an 8-point game from November 28th against the Raptors. It's like, boom, 8 points there. What did he score in the first game of the season? Okay, he got 31 against us in the first game, but we still beat his ass. But look, 8 points, 12 points. He scored 20 points in the last 2 times he's played against the Toronto Raptors. There's two initials and a word for that. O.G.encouraging. That man cut that man's water off, and that is the kind of stuff that will get a Defensive Player of the Year or an all first-team defensive NBA team for O.G.encouraging. Beautiful, fantastic job on both ends of the court. In fact, Nick wanted to really emphasize that OG is a very special defensive player, and he did amazing special things last night defensively for us last night. The threes are amazing also, though, Nick, and we love it on both sides of the ball. Our third star is, of course, Mr. Madison Square Garden, Mr. 43, 52 card pickup, Pascal Siakam, 9 of 22 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals and a block. 26 points. Now, Siakam, that's great, but I love the balance. 26 points for Siakam, 26 points for OG, 25 points for Scottie, and then Fred coming in with 18 also. That's really good balance and the scores from the starting lineup. And Pascal wasn't overwhelming, but he did continue a lot of the stuff that he did in New York the game before. That is, a lot of the same stuff was still there, and the him just doing whatever he wants, getting a little bit of room, shooting a floater over guys, spinning to the basket, just doing the normal Pascal stuff in a very efficient way. But the great thing about what Pascal did last night is very early he stacked up a bunch of assists. The man had like 7 or 8 assists by halftime. And that was really fantastic to see, because that is a big part of why our team was clicking so well. That Siakam is going to get all that attention, and he really is learning how to get the best play, the best efficient play with what's going on. Before in the past, he may have tried to beat a triple or a quadruple team by himself, but now he really is looking for other guys like Thaddeus and Scottie and OG around him and setting them up for easy baskets because he gets so much attention. And I love that. His assists, 9 assists last night. Absolutely fantastic. Pascal still, once again, you do a couple of things a little bit different. You got a triple double last night very easily, but you're not all about that. That's just not who you are. You're not Kyle Lowry. You're not a triple double hunter, but you're very close to getting them, and you could get them more often. It's crazy. But I just got a slow clap the Raptors today, because this is what it's all about. You see Macho Man over there behind me with C3PO. Well, Macho Man is from Ohio, and he's the representative for the Cleveland Cavaliers team. I know maybe they don't deserve the Macho Man Randy Savage because he's such an all-time great. But you see what C3PO is doing to him right there? He's sunning him. That is what that means right there. You see he has his hand on his shoulder. He's like, okay, son, good job. And that's what happens when a team gets beat by us. Their little guy gets sunned by C3PO after the game. That's right. He's like patting him on the shoulder. It's okay, son. You lost. All right, let's see. Mike saying, Karma, remember the Cavs clowning us last year in that December game when we had like 4 players and 4 replacement players? Yeah, the Raptors players do, and it's payback. You're talking about Boxing Day last year. Boxing Day is just an aberration, an abomination, very much a one-time deal, and it really shouldn't be looked at it for anything. Sure, they were clowning us last night. You don't understand, Mike. In the stream for Cleveland, the announcers were so shitty, like in the beginning, as far as like being awful. In the very beginning of the game, they were talking about how we got swept by Cleveland and LeBron in like 2017. They were really digging up old ass shit. And they were so enamored with Scottie's slump this week. They kept talking about, they were really piling on from Doug Smith's article. That's why when you do that, Doug Smith, you're a fucking asshole, because it snowballs after that. You can write some dumb little article in the Toronto Star, and then, opposing announcers see that article or see that, and they're just say, oh, there's a buzz about Scottie slumping and not being as good this year. Yeah, we made you shut the fuck up about that real quick, just like Doug Smith, Cleveland Cavaliers announcers last night. Y'all were being such homers and talking so much trash. And also the thing I hate is after the game, you go and look at the NBA highlights from NBA YouTube channel, and they're almost all Cleveland highlights, even though they got their ass beat. Honestly, they got routed last night. We were beating them by 20 for most of the game. We did beat them by double digits, 11 points. And you go and watch the highlights from the game on the NBA YouTube channel, and you'll see all Cleveland highlights almost, and you'll think that they won. That is part of the perception and stupid ass thing that they do. Maybe there's some bitter ass motherfucker that makes those highlights every night, and they're a Cleveland fan and they hate Toronto, so they put all Cleveland highlights on that thing. Very, very little Toronto highlights. You wouldn't even thought that we won. It's little stupid shit like that. You can go see the clip and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then, like I said, the announcers for Cleveland, they're salty, they're homers, they're idiots. And when I listen to that highlight reel, you really hear what kind of stupid shit they were saying during the game. Because I did watch Jack and Matt, and they were so good last night. I really enjoyed listening to them last night. Now, another person I'm pissed off at is the person who was interviewing the Nick Nurse and Scottie Barnes after the game in the press room. I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Savannah Hamilton. It was some other woman that I'd never heard her voice before. But she actually had the audacity to ask Nick Nurse, well, you said that Scottie's growth has been stunted this season. And can you please explain what's going on with him? Well, Nick said, wait, what did you just say? Whoa, step back just a sec. Did you say that I said that his growth has been stunted? I never said that, ever said that. And then the ladies tried to change her question. Well, we know he's having troubles right now. And Nick's like, no, we don't know he's having troubles. He's not having troubles. Y'all are just reading each stat line from night to night out. You see a 2-point output game from him, and then you overreact. This is the thing. Y'all stop overreacting to everything in Raptors Nation. Let's just cruise. Let's just enjoy the ride and watching them play and do amazing things on the court. Everything's overanalyzed. In fact, the thing that Raptors fans are nitpicking right now is the Boucher benching last night. Listen, he didn't get benched. He's not in trouble. He got a DNP, and he did not play last night. But Nick explained it after the game exactly why Chris didn't play last night. And it really has to do with the matchup. that they really wanted to guard the perimeter really, really well last night, and they did. And he recognized that the three guys that he wanted out there more were Juancho, Gary, and Malachi, and that he knows Chris is not the best perimeter defender. And to do what he wanted to do with the scheme, he was not going to be able to fit him in. So it was purely a matchup thing. And there's going to be a lot of Raptor fans that are going to read into this and like make up all these stupid ass stories in their head about why Chris did not play last night. Well, I'm going to tell you exactly why is what I just said. And he will be playing in most of the games this season, and he is not in trouble. We need to realize that this is part of what the coach does. It's like a restaurant. He comes in, he sees the menu on a given night, he's sitting down for a meal, and he may not want all the dishes that he normally gets every night. He may want to switch it up. He may want to try a different app with this, a different dessert, a different main course, a different other stuff, a crudiment, whatever. And he may not choose the same ones every night. That's part of having the great menu of roster of players to choose the picks and looks, the look of what they want the team to look like and what they need done on the court. It can be very like crafted by knowing your personnel and knowing who you want out there. It just was smart. He did it brilliantly. I hate the short rotation when he only plays 8 players. I love him to play 10 players. But if he did it fine last night. There was nothing wrong with how he did it last night. First of all, the players are going to be off for a couple days now. They're off, Saturday, today, Sunday, Monday, and they play again on Tuesday. So they got 3 days off. So he could play those starters on heavy 40-plus minutes and not be worried about that. And then, he made decisions to not play certain young players last night that I thought was smart in some ways. The game was really tight. It was a very well-played game by the Raptors he selected to play, the 8 Raptors that played last night. Don't read into this too much. One of the great things that's happening right now is Malachi's a rotation player all of a sudden, and he is really bearing a lot of good fruit. Let's look at Malachi Flynn real quick. 23 minutes, 3 of 7 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 9 points. Now, the thing about Malachi and Gary off the bench is they shot 50% from 3. They were 5 of 10 together as a pair, which those threes were very key and important. In fact, Gary kind of sparked our great three-point shooting last night off the bench. He came in as one of the first reserves, and right away he hit 2 3-pointers pretty quickly into the game. In fact, he did most of what he did very early, and then we didn't see him as much later. But what he did was very, very important. In fact, Gary did his little bit, like in his little bit of time that he was out there, 20 minutes, 3 of 6 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point range, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 8 points. Now, those 2 steals were fantastic. In fact, we saw that trademark Gary Trent get in the passing lane. I'm stealing it. I'm going right down, and I'm jamming it down the other end. That is best kind of Gary kind of stuff we can get. Him shooting a good percentage from 3, him getting steals, playing dogged defense, even if he doesn't play like 40 minutes like the rest of the starters or something. So really good job with choosing who to play last night by Nick Nurse. I think Gary and Malachi and Stad were the right 3 guys off the bench. And once again, he's starting Juancho. And that really kind of adds a experience and smart, savvy, veteran kind of brain into the starting lineup that just helps. We don't see him do a whole lot, but Juancho is really key as far as things with the defense and also just making a good target to pass to, and also being a pretty good passer himself. 1 for 3 from the field. He hit 1 3 early in the game, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 points for Juancho. But get this, guys, he may not have had much output, but he had the highest plus minus out of all the Raptors last night. He was a plus 17. So he must have been doing something right because he was out there when the Raptors were doing their best. So just a fantastic job by Nick with the rotations last night. I really do think he did a good job with that. But yeah, screw the Cavs and whatever else. Okay, Nameless is saying, oh yeah, I forgot all about that, about the Boxing Day. Well, it's a bad memory. You don't want to remember Boxing Day last year. It was a very dark day. We've done that on a Raptor Freak Monday memory. You can go and revisit it and remember it there in the clip I made earlier this year about Boxing Day and how sad it was. Scott B's here. Good to see Scott B. Any roofing company, if y'all need some roofing done in the Toronto area around Ontario, Scott B can help you out. Any roofing. Hate to say I told you so, but Pascal is about to break out in a big way. Top 10, show me 9 players doing better than him in the league. Our big 3 needs to stay together. Scott B, you go ahead and say told you so. Because if you were telling that and people doubted him, you deserve the right to tell them, yeah, I told you so. That this man is good and he is doing things and he's helping the rest of the team. And we look badass right now. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I don't know where he is in the top 10, top 15 of players in the NBA. He's pretty high up there. He should be up there. And they're going to give him more and more of his respect because he needs to get it. And I'm totally with you as far as like keeping Scottie, OG, and Pascal together. We want these guys together. And Fred's great too. Kareem saying, Kareem Thomas, good morning to Kareem. For the past 2 weeks, we scrutinized this team, and we have every right to do so because this is the fucking Raptors we expect and love. The ball was humming. Well, listen, in some ways, like Nick said after the game, this was very much optimal level performance for the Raptors. You know, he doesn't expect much more better than this. This is exactly how he'd love them to play every single night, but there's a sliding scale, Kareem. Unfortunately, there's consistency is like up and down. It's not totally always going to be this high, crazy ass level. And sometimes, there are going to be flaws and there's going to be a little bit of problems. So, but the closest we can get to this level night in, night out, the better. And there are things we can control about it to make it closer to this. And that's really the defensive intensity, playing really well in tandem and rotation and smart and communicating on defense. And you can see just how much we can stop a great offensive team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we get the defense established and play that way often and regularly. Sure, we can expect that kind of quality of play from our Raptors. But, listen, we've scrutinized them, and that's part of the pressure. The fans want them to win. Masai Ujiri wants them to win. They're getting pressure to win. And, our pressure can be toxic and it can be wrong. Like there's some fans like us that we want them to win. We can go about it in a positive way to try and egg them on. But there's a lot of other negative, unnecessary stuff when losing is happening that needs to be cut out. But yeah, scrutinizing the team, as long as it's constructive criticism and it's not just insulting or just not useful, is good. And that's what we try to do on this channel. That's the difference between like just saying Fred's a little guy and he sucks. And like saying, okay, if we do this better on the court, hopefully we'll get better results if you guys pass it more or share the ball more. And boom, we see that last night. Lots of sharing the ball last night. But yeah, isn't it nice to see, Kareem, to see the ball humming? Just like it was so fun to see how many threes we were hitting. And when they were going up, I was like, Malachi, he's going to make it. And then Fred and then OG. And I was just like, yes, we were hitting our threes finally. A little bit more balance and hopefully more like what we'll shoot for the rest of the season. Tom Duke saying, good morning, Freak family. Lots of folks quiet today. Doug Smith and such should apologize for the crap they say. Go Raptors, a.k.a. the Streak Busters. That's right, Tom Duke. Yeah, Doug Smith, seriously, maybe you should retire. You've had a rough year in some ways. The stupid ass shit you did with Armani Brooks last season and what your joke on Twitter, that was really unprofessional. And it shows that you're out of touch with today's social media and how it works. Well, the things that are happening to you today are the same thing. You're seeing more and more how out of touch you are because young people are coming at you and telling you how stupid and old you are. It's true at this point. I can't defend you anymore. Sure, you're a historian, you're an archivist for the Raptors. You wrote a great book, We the North, but you also are kind of fucking stupid and pissing me off. Nobody talks enough about how you were a big part of why Vince Carter left. And that you were a very, very much a player in the reasons why he left. You try and act like you didn't have anything to do with it, but your stupid ass reporting and writing articles about Vince at that time really drove the wedge a lot deeper between the team and him. And you were a big part of that. And, this is the kind of shit that I don't want to put up with you in today's day and age. You gonna fucking start wedging our players from our team? Fuck you, Doug Smith. And you know what? I would tell everybody, do not give any money to the Toronto Star then. Do not buy that paper. Do not endorse them. Don't buy any of the newspapers. Do you need any of the newspapers at this point? No, you don't. You can get it all online on the internet. But that's how we can say we're not okay with Doug Smith and how he's doing. We boycott their newspaper and say we're not fucking putting any money towards Toronto Star anymore because your sports reporter who covers the Raptors is full of shit, and we're sick of it. We're not dealing with him anymore. So there you go. Nako, good morning. Merry Christmas. I hope you have another comment. We'll have to see. Let's see what else is going on in Raptor Freak world with you guys and what your comments are about last night. Now, Tom Duke, he's painting a pretty picture here. And this is what I kept thinking last night. I was like, boy, that maple syrup layer is real nice tonight. We had a real good, thick, double-digit lead for most of the game, and that was important. It wavered a little bit in the fourth. We had trouble scoring in the fourth a little bit, and they did outscore us in the fourth, but we outscored them all of the other three quarters. And that was really important. We needed to build a good maple syrup level of 100% Canadian maple syrup so that we could weather an offensive flurry or even Donovan Mitchell singularly as an individual trying to imprint his will to help carry the Cavs to a win, because he's done this year. He's a very much a threat late in the game to try and take over in the last 7 or 6 minutes to help his team be on top and win at the end. He tried to do that, and we stopped him. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it like he usually does. OG was that kind of stopper and just completely stymieing him. But that was the game plan for them, is that's what they would do, is they may be down in a game, but they always surge up with him leading them in that kind of way. And we didn't allow it. That the maple syrup was very thick, and I appreciate your emoticons this morning, Tom Duke, with the pancakes and the maple syrup representation and recognition of that level of that layer last night, because it was handy and it was true. Nameless is right. The refs were kind of helping a little bit the Cavs to try and catch up a little bit and make it more interesting by the end. Nameless is saying OG and Pascal create some kind of weird superhero duo. The Glass Brothers. There's a really cool clip that I saw last night from Precious at home. Precious was doing Christmas. He's setting up his Christmas tree with like little red raptor ornaments, raptor symbol on them. And he's putting it up, and he's like putting out the cookies and milk for Santa. There's the milk in the bag, the famous Precious milk in the bag episode from last year. Well, he's pouring the milk in the cup, and he's putting the Oreos out. It looked like an Oreo commercial a little bit. And for Santa, and well, he has one last ornament he has to put on his tree, and it's a little framed picture of a young man, very young Chris Boucher, as a child, and Precious is looking at it, he's saying, "That's Shawn Michaels," because they really are playing this DX thing. And he's like, "That's Shawn Michaels," and he's like, "Is that really Shawn Michaels?" And he shows it, and it's such a cute picture of Chris from when he was a little kid. And then he takes it and he hangs it right on the top of the tree. And I just love that so much. I just love that whole clip, and the friendship between Precious and Chris Boucher is really strong. You can tell. He's calling him Shawn Michaels, and Chris calls him Triple H at this point. And I just think that as a wrestling fan, it's hilarious. I don't like either of those guys in wrestling. Like, I really am not a DX guy. But a lot of the guys on our team are, like Scottie and Chris. He called him Shawn Michaels, and I love that. I love that clip so much. Open Gym, once again, thank you for being a portal to private lives on the Raptors and just seeing more interesting, fun stuff about them. Now, talking a little bit more about Christmas, this is a little sad, and I don't like this, and it makes me think. And listen, we won 2 games in a row. Scottie's played really well last night. I think he's going to be on Twitch this weekend, guys. He could be on today, actually. So please, Tom Duke, Isaac Campbell, different people, Cool Cat, that frequent his Twitch, please be there for him. I may be very busy and not able to watch his Twitch this weekend, and I know you guys may be too, but I have a feeling he's going to be on there, because he said, and you guys watched the interview after the game with Kayla Gray, it was really sad. Like, she was talking to him about the game, and he's just saying, yeah, I'm just coming out here playing my best and just trying to do what I can to help us win. And then she said, well, what are your plans for Christmas? And Scottie said, I don't have any plans for Christmas. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going home. I'm going to be here in Toronto, and I'll be by myself. And I'm like, whoa, that's sad. And then Kayla's like, well, how can we send you food or something? And then Scottie said, I don't want y'all sending me any food. It's like, I don't want anything from anybody. So I really do feel like he's in a weird place with his fame and trying to keep a barrier from society. And it's really sad to me that he's not going home for Christmas. Like, Scott, you could get on a plane this morning, or you could have gone straight from Cleveland down to Florida. But I know that Florida is just as cold as here right now. Really is a polar vortex across the whole nation. In fact, my folks are up from Atlanta, and they're talking about how it was just as cold in Atlanta yesterday as it was here in Toronto. So, and the people down in Florida, they don't understand the cold. Like, they don't have winter jackets, and they don't have houses that are insulated to deal with the winter. They're not winterized. So it's actually way more brutal down there to be in the South during like polar times than it is up here, because we're way more weathered and have better ability to deal with it because we do every year. Well, they don't deal with it every year. So down there, they're miserable. There's like I said, there are people out there trying to run around in like minus degree weather that are wearing hoodies because they don't own a winter jacket. So, Scottie, I know you, if you're going to be here by yourself here in Toronto, man, I hope that you'll at least reach out and get on Twitch and let your Twitch family give you some good tidings of joy for this Christmas. I don't want you to be here by yourself depressed. At least go down to Pascal's house or somebody's house and go spend Christmas with another Raptor. At least do that, because it was just so sad. Like, after such a jubilant game, Kayla Gray talking to him after the game just bummed me out, because I could tell there's something weird going on with Scottie. I don't know. I don't think he's depressed, but he may be slightly depressed on the down low, and I don't know why. But I think that you need your Twitch family again, bro. It's been 2 months. You haven't come and said hi to us. And, even if I'm not there, I might not be able to be there because I'm going to be very busy with family over the next 2 days. If we can be there for him and just let him know we love him and we're there for him if he pops on Twitch. So definitely be on Twitch watch for today, tomorrow, and probably on Monday too, because he's going to be back in town today, and he's going to be bored. He'll be working out and doing stuff, not because Doug Smith shamed him to do it, but he'll be doing all that regular stuff. And he probably will get on there and at least want to say hi to us because they won and he's played well. And there's no reason why he wouldn't want to do it. So let's be there for Scottie as his Twitch family if he does get on there, because I hated seeing that. The Glass Brothers. There's some sort of weird superhero duo, the Glass Brothers. You mean like they get up on the glass? I'm not sure. I don't like that name because it makes me think of Glass Joe and fragile, being fragile. And I want them to be fragile. So Glass Brothers, I don't know if that's the right name. I don't know if that's the right name. Pascal really was like the Grinch last night, stealing that win. Ooh, taking it from Cleveland. All right, Starscream's in here. Nets fan is really happy with us. It's almost like we're a hitman in the Eastern Conference all of a sudden. Good job, Raptor Freaks. All it took was a 1 win, and now you guys got some confidence back. Now it's time to make it 3 in a row next game. See, he's clear of us. He doesn't care if we get rolling. In fact, he may be a secondary Raptor fan at this point because he knows that we can play spoiler and help their team in things that they got going on in the standings. We don't play the Nets again for the rest of the season. So he would love for us to surge up and become one of the top Eastern teams at this point, because we'll be messing everybody else up instead of his team. So it's very smart, Starscream. And if you want to be a part of Raptors Freak Nation for the rest of the season, since we're going to be friendly because we don't have to play each other for the rest of the year, you keep coming in here and you keep congratulating us when we take down top Eastern teams that you want to have a worse record to help the Nets. Yeah, you go, Starscream. Merry Christmas. That's your Christmas gift. The Raptors are back, and we're gonna mess up the Eastern Conference a bit to help the Nets in some ways. So G saying one of my favorite moments was Gary passing a fairly open shot to Flynn. Him doing that shows his growth. Yeah, there was really good sharing. There was one point where they passed it too much, and it turned into a turnover, and that Thad should have took a shot in the lane that he had open, but they passed a little too much and turned a turnover. But there was way more better ball movement and sharing and to get working towards really good open shots. In fact, we saw some crazy ass passing going every which way. And some of it was like touch passes. Like Malachi at one point got the ball for a second and then he just hit it right away, right next to Thad. And it was going across the court and over this way. And like, they were really pinpointing really well. And we're in tune with each other. Who knows? Maybe they did passing drills this week because they really were finding each other accurately. And that's important. There was some really cool stuff about sharing the ball. And I do remember that play in particular, G, that Gary could have easily lobbed it, but he saw Malachi in the corner a little further over and boom, over to him. Yeah, really, really good, solid 3-point shooting by the Raptors last night. We had 6 players hit 3-pointers, and that, shooting 50% at the 3-point line is such a huge thing. We're shooting 50% of the free throw line, 3-point line. The other team's losing. I'm sorry, because we'll be doing everything else really well, and having that going also for us. Yeah, you're done. You're done. You're done. Monique is here. Good to see Superfan Monique Lawrence. Good morning, everyone. What a game. Yes, Monique. Merry Christmas to you. Early Christmas gift for Superfan Monique Lawrence. A nice big W over the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have won the season series against the Cavs. We are 3-0 against the Cavs now. We see them one more time in January. Let's get the sweep, baby. We got their number. Let's that little Donovan. What is he going to do against us? See, this is why we didn't need to get Donovan on our team, because we need him to be on another team so we can bully him and stop him with OG. You get him on our own team, it's like then other people can do that to him. We don't want that to happen. It's not like many people in this league do that to Spider Mitchell, but we do. We definitely do, and it's OG. So it's like, that's why I was saying when everybody's like, get Donovan Mitchell on our team this summer. It's like, no, because I love playing against him and messing him up. It's like, that's the logic I had at that time. I was like, I don't want him on our team because in some ways he will hurt us. And we see it here in our matchup against him. He really does hurt them in some ways. Juancho saying, G is saying Juancho is some sort of glue guy. Great off ball movement, doesn't need the ball, can hit a 3 when needed and open, and liking this addition more and more. It occurred to me that it's really kind of weird and bizarre. At the beginning of the year, would we have thought that Juancho would be one of the 5 starters consistently in this last week? That Cruz would be starting for the Raptors this season. He really did look like a throw-in. He looked like the new version of Svi on our team, and we didn't really expect much from him in some ways. It's like he was very unknown coming in from Eurobasket, being a champion for Spain, and like not really being around at Rico Hines. And we're like, what is his role? Where is he going to fit in with the Raptors? Is he going to get minutes? Is he going to just be a glorified end the bench guy that was in a movie this summer? Well, he's Cruz, baby, and he's on our team and he's starting. We got Cruz starting on our team. And in some ways, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to say that Cruz starts for the Raptors right now. And I just love that in some ways. And it really is a valid starter. The one thing I could say about Juancho that really could happen, and this is what Nick wants, shoot more threes and make more points. It could be that he blossoms some more in the second half of the season, getting more ingrained with the other guys and like knowing what to do and where they'll find him, and that we could see him adding more offense for us consistently as the year goes on. I'd love to see him get like 10 to 20 points in some games. I'd really like them to use him more offensively. And I think that over time through the season, we are going to see that unfold a bit more. But at least we get that baseline of really smart placement and footwork and being on the court in different places, whether it's on our defense and just also on offense. He's like the straw that stirs the drink. He moves around and he gets things moving, inertia, when maybe some of our guys may be staying around too much. Well, Juancho's keeping it moving. And that is really good, especially when you got a guy like Scottie Barnes who likes finding moving targets with assists. So, yeah, he's been fantastic and a great pickup. I really do think that Bobby did a really good job this summer. Everybody thinks he did shitty because, we had this problem still recently and this. But honestly, when Otto Porter comes back and he's healthy, look out. We're going to realize why he was even a really good addition also this summer. I think he did such a good job. He did such a good job drafting Koloko, getting Juancho, Otto, just a fantastic job. Nako saying might have been the most crafty I've seen Scottie all year. Scottie, Pascal, OG were our best players. Here's hoping Malachi keeps it up. I want to give some shine to Fred real quick also, because he was important in last night's game too. 5 of 12 from the field, 38 minutes, 5 of 10 from 3-point range. I love it. Like if you told me that Fred, Malachi, and Gary would be 50% shooting from 3-point range last night and get 10 3-pointers, 10 of 20 shooting from 3, I would be so happy. I'd be like, that's great output. 3 players with 10 3-pointers and they all shot 50%. That is fantastic. 5 of 10 from 3 is fantastic by Fred. 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. plus 15. He was the second highest plus on our team, 18 points. So Freddie was doing important things. And, he wasn't getting any shine or like very much like attention as far as like the other three guys did because of what they did. But Freddie was very important in this game last night. Steady Freddie being El Capitan and doing the right things in the right moments. He was really kind of in the background and not really forcing his game into this game, but he still found the time to score 18 points and make some threes and do good things. And I like that. This may be more the role we want him to be in more. Like if he can be like the third or fourth leading scorer on our team, that may be better because that's indicative of him not having to carry such a heavy load and wearing down over the season. But it's a happy medium. You don't want him to be like a single digit game like he'd had recently, but you don't maybe want him to be like a 30 to 40 point game where he's doing so much. You want to make it somewhere like he's in the teens or early 20s, like scoring wise, because that burden of him carrying the ball or putting his body on the line, hitting the paint, doing all so much, having to exert so much. We want to lessen that and let the load be carried more equally among guys like last night. And I really like that about that part of Fred. He played really well, but he played within himself and he didn't have to exert himself too much on the court to help us win, that we had other people step up and fill in. It was really, really good. And I hope Malachi keeps it up too. He's really has kind of ingratiated and earned a rotational minute kind of spot. I said it last night. I said, Malachi, you're in the rotation now, bro. You were played consistently in these games recently, and Delano has not, and Coloco has had DMPs recently, and you are getting played. So you are actually in the rotation right now, Malachi Flynn, and congratulations. And I know Eric Flynn's celebrating like it's an early Christmas present. G saying, Donovan Mitchell said the Raptors are good at fouling and they don't get called in everything. Meanwhile, they had 12 more free throws. I know Donovan Mitchell, once again, we have an opponent that's saying stupid ass shit after the game, just like Joel the other night. Yeah, Joel, you think we don't care about winning? You motherfucker. You look and see what we did in New York and Cleveland last night. What have we done? We care about winning. Yeah, we do. Okay. So take back, retract whatever stupid garbage came out of your mouth. It didn't even make sense. It was like you can form sentences and make sentences that are coherent, that make sense. Because that didn't make any sense when you said the Raptors don't care about winning. That's stupid as hell. So now Donovan Mitchell has said something stupid last night. He said the Raptors are really good at one thing, and that's fouling is what he said. Oh my gosh, you're an idiot, Donovan Mitchell. Just take your L and understand that O.G.encouraging owns your ass, all right? Because you just sound pathetic when you make excuses like that. You could say nice things and say, you know what, you would look better if you said the Raptors have one of the best defenses in the league, and they're really hard for me to play against. If you said that, I'd have more respect for you. But instead, you're going that route and you're saying that. And listen, what he said is going to get parroted and believed by the Cleveland fan nation. In fact, they are coming out with all kinds of crazy excuses for last night. They were real quiet after the game happened, but since then they're coming out. They're probably parroting a lot of what Mitchell said, that we just are foul artists. We're too physical. The refs help us because they don't call fouls. They could probably complain about travel calls not getting called last night because they thought people were traveling and they would yell, "Oh, Pascal traveled," but no, nobody called anything. Shut up, Cleveland fans. Shut up, Donovan Mitchell. You're losing like a loser. You can lose in a gracious way. And you didn't do that last night by saying stuff like that in your interview, Donovan. In fact, I lost more respect for you when I heard you saying that. I was like, why can't you just say Nick Nurse is a defensive genius as a coach and that his scheme shut you down? And that you could have said some different things there. It would have been better. O.G.encouraging is here again. Let's go, Big W. Let's go. Yes. O.G.encouraging. Such a weird name. I don't think that you could get two more different people on this earth than O.J. Simpson and O.G.encouraging. Like if you put them in the same room, it'd be really, really weird. It'd be really, really weird. OG's so fun. He's had a lot more interviews recently. He's a little bit more out of his shell these days. And we're hearing him talk and do things. There's a clip on City TV News recently with Lindsey Dunn hanging out with him. And he's talking about his favorite Fleetwood Mac songs. He was talking about Gypsy. I was like, this dude talking about Fleetwood Mac. He's like, he loves Fleetwood Mac. apparently, OG. And he was naming his favorite Christmas songs, and he named Wham! Last Christmas. I'm like, that's the song everybody avoids every year. But OG's big on that song. He's like, I like Christmas music. He's like, yeah, I like that Wham song. Like, well, and he said, I think Mariah Carey, the other one. I like that Wham song and Mariah Carey. I'm like, oh my gosh. So OG is just a weird one, but he really does love music. And it was kind of funny that he was talking about Fleetwood Mac with Lindsey Dunn on City TV News. All right, let's keep going. Scott B saying, did anyone see the ref apologizing to Garland for giving him a foul on Fred? We didn't just beat Cleveland, we beat the machine last night. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Scott B, this is what we've been doing all along. The Raptors have been beating the machine for 27 years. You know, we started horrible. We were an expansion team, but nobody wanted us to do nothing. They wanted us to be the Purple Barney dinosaurs forever and be just a perennial loser, a 20-win season after another. And when we got Vince, we started doing different things. We started showing up. We've gone through the ups and downs of our franchise. It's always been this way. It's never, ever been not this way. The machine does not want the Raptors to win. That's why it's so special what happened in 2019, because we did something against the will of the league, and we want to do this again. And that's why we have to be even better than everybody else. They can be this good, but they have an easier route, the Celtics, because it's rolled out like a red carpet for them to walk right down to try and get to a championship. Well, not for us. And this has always been the truth, and it's just the case. And yeah, it is what it is. I thought that, like I said, Tyler Ford was pretty good last night. In fact, he kept good control of the game, and he is a hotshot young ref. He is a crew chief at like under 10 years in the league, and that is fantastic, an accomplishment in itself. So, you know, I don't know. I like the refs last night. Mitchell Irvin, he loves Drake. He wasn't horrible. There were a couple calls that pissed me off about him. And Andy Nagy was fantastic last night. In fact, he was pissing off Cleveland last night left and right. And I said, you go, Andy Nagy. Tyler Ford was pretty good. Andy Nagy was awesome. Mitchell Irvin was a little bit There were a couple calls that Mitchell made last night that pissed me off. But that's just how it is. The NBA machine doesn't see money in making money off of the Raptors winning. They wanted to expand the global market. And so, okay, the Raptors winning one championship's great, but they don't want to see us win again. That's why we need to do it. We need to do it against the machine, as you put it. And Masai knows this. It's like there are some disadvantages to being the Toronto Raptors, but there are some very big advantages also. And we will beat the machine again. That's why it's going to be so sweet when we get a dynasty of championships over the next 15 years, starting from 2019. Very much like the San Antonio Spurs did. I want 5 championships by 2035. I don't know if I've told you all that, but I've said this before on this channel early on, that I envision the Raptors being like the Spurs from 2019. That would be the first one that they got in 1999. And I want to get 5 championships over the next 15 years. And that really is a goal for me. And I think that the Raptors can do this. That we've got 1. We can get 4 more by 2035. Let's do it, Raptors. We very much follow kind of the path of the Spurs and how they did it. Because they don't want them winning either. You think they want small-ass market San Antonio winning championships like they did? No, they did not. They had to beat the machine also. And their machine they had to beat often was Kobe and the Lakers. So that was pretty tough. Monique saying that's the first I didn't see a DMP from Chris. You know, like I said, we went over this already. Chris is probably fine with it. It may be a motivator for them. And I really like in some ways that Nick is really taking these minutes thing as a thing to entice these guys to play better. And Koloko right now is probably chomping at the bit to play more. He just got to start a whole bunch of games, and now he's like relegated to not starting and not even playing in some games. So it's like he's sitting there with Delano, and Delano's like, yeah, it's like this sometimes. I mean, I had to deal with this last year. Sometimes I get play and I play a lot and then I get DMPs. It's just how it is, and they can talk to Malachi who's further along and say, yeah, guys, you get used to this. This is how it is. Now, Chris is a special case. I don't think he's out of the rotation. I think last night was just a one night unique kind of thing. And it really was by design. Nick did not like Chris against Cleveland in the matchup. And that's what he said after the game. But I think he's still in the rotation, that he'll be playing. He may play every other game after this. It's just that last night he got a DNP. And there's nothing wrong with that. It could be that Chris also has a nagging injury we don't know about. And that maybe that was part of the reason why he wanted to give him a nice, good rest over the break. Don't play him from last Wednesday all the way till next Tuesday. That's almost a week off. So in some ways, he was giving some of his guys a week off by not playing them last night and only playing 8 guys. And I don't have any problem with that, especially if some of them have nagging injuries. Mike's saying Doug Smith is a tool at times. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I did like him for many years, but I'm at this point, I'm sick of him. There's no reason to put Scottie on blast like that at this point. In fact, I want everybody to stop doing this, whether it's a fan or a journalist writing articles. Just let's take him out from underneath the microscope and just let him be. Just let him go out like a kid would, like in life, and just have fun and play and happy and smile. It's like we don't make it fun when he feels like every little thing he does is under a microscope. And, that may be part of the problem in itself, that he's more self-aware that there's so many people analyzing him and that it's not fun to him. And, he needs to forget all that and just play and just be separate from any kind of stupid ass opinions that ordinary Joes like me or a dumbass like Doug Smith, who writes for a big paper in Toronto, think about him. There's no reason for him to worry about what we think because his path has nothing to do with us. His path has to do with him and what is preordained in the future for what he's going to go and accomplish. And that it's not up to us the schedule of it or how it happens or whether he fails or succeeds on any given night. We just need to be there for him as fans, caring and supportive, and allow him to succeed and fail as he's supposed to. And then I'm just sick of everybody like getting overreacting to a bad game by him sometimes. It may be a little bit of feast or famine with him for a little while, where it may be nothing or everything like last night. And I think that we need to just be ready for that and able to say that and be like, okay, it's just not a good night for Scottie, but he can still contribute and do major things, even if he doesn't score a lot. He could be maybe passing to a whole bunch of guys. He could be maybe playing really good defense and boxing out and playing like a center, beating both Jared Allen and Evan Mobley like he did last night around the basket. I love seeing that. You see him go right at them and taking it right next to the basket and like putting his arm against Jared Allen and just shooting it over Jared Allen, one of the best defensive players in the league. He could take him to the school right down near the basket and just score over him. How many people can do that in this league? I will tell you, you can't maybe count enough to make this hand. I'm telling you, this is a special, unique kid that has a skill that is unstoppable, and we are so lucky to have him on this team. He is going to be as overpowering as people like LeBron when he finally figures out how he can do this and really direct it and be like very purposeful. It's like, this is what I'm doing on this play, and they can't stop me because he's shooting a high percentage already. 10 for 16 last night. He's going to get better and better. And he's going to have some crazy ass games in his NBA career where people are going to be like, holy shit, he is one of the greatest ever. I'm telling you, it's coming. But you got to realize that it's not like a clear path. It's just straight going all the way up. It's going to be like, it's going to be very erratic, especially this year. It may get more consistent and going forward, like in next year, or maybe not even next year. It could be in the 4th year of his career that he gets way more consistent. You can look at OG and his first 5 years in the league, and he was very to himself. And it's only been more recently that he's showing more consistency on the offensive end that we can depend on. Siakam, same thing. He was very with his scoring output as a young player in this league. And you look at where he's at this point. The whole thing is, look, Scottie has an immense talent that is a lottery talent, a top 4 pick talent. He could have been the top pick in the draft, honestly. And this is the thing. You put him on a team with leaders like Fred and Pascal, they brush off on him. Pascal, the way he works so hard and what he has done to build himself to who he is, you add that kind of work ethic, vet, around a young player like Scottie, he will mold him and give him good habits. And in some ways, he may rub off on him to allow Scottie to get the utmost potential out of his superstar, ultra premium gifts and talents. That if he was on another team with leaders that dog it or just don't care, maybe they're just to collect the check. well, then he would be stymied. The fact that he's on a team with Siakam and he can see what Siakam does, just like Siakam saw what Kawhi does, is very important because that'll make Scottie get the utmost potential out of his very, very talented frame and body and what he can do on the court. And there's so much to like about the whole situation. There really is. Tom Duke's saying we are due 45 players shooting over 40% at the moment, most ever. Offensive ratings are making point totals rise, and no defense can keep up to elite shooting. Thanks for making them miss at the line. Yeah, it was fun. I was like, I don't know. It was fun watching the game with my parents. And I told them, I was like, y'all can't go back to Atlanta now. You have to watch the game with me every single night. Because it's just so, overwhelmingly good how they played last night. The vibes were strong in Toronto on a snowy night while they were in Cleveland messing up the Cavs. They were very, very strong. And I really enjoyed watching the game with my dad because, I don't get to watch games with my dad very often. And that was cool. It was really cool. All right, let's keep going. G saying Pascal was passing the ball to Scottie to start and encouraging him to go to the net. Yeah, I really love the clip at the end of the game when Pascal's leaving the court and Scottie's getting ready to do the interview with Kayla, and Pascal says over, "Hey Scottie, good job tonight. Good job tonight. Good job." And he claps and he leaves. Well, Scottie said after the game that Pascal was in his ear during the game. And he said basically he's like, you cannot get bored out there. You have to play this intense on defense and we will win. You really need to stay locked in and tuned in and not get bored. And it could be that's kind of an open window to maybe part of the problems that Scottie's had this year is that at times maybe they do really well on defense for the first quarter or second quarter and he gets bored, or maybe he's like, okay, we're doing so well, I can let my guard down. Well, maybe that's something that they've been working on with Scottie is saying Pascal's saying to him, look, you got to do it all game long. And that really kind of opened a window to the relationship between them. That Pascal's telling Scottie, don't get bored out there. Keep your defensive intensity and attention to what you're doing on defense throughout the whole 48 minutes. Because sometimes you have good success on defense. You shut down the other team in the first quarter. Well, you get maybe lazy because you're like, oh, we already did so good on that. Well, you still have to do this. You have to do this the whole entire game. And that, Pascal taking him aside during the game and saying, don't get bored out there, Scottie. Keep doing what you're doing on defense is really cool. And I like that Pascal, as a leader and a mentor to young Scott, was giving him kudos on the way out and said, good job, Scottie. You did a good job in what we needed you to do. And he got rewarded by getting to play in the clutch minutes at the end of the game. He didn't play the clutch minutes against New York on Wednesday. And that's part of the reward system with Nick Nurse and his coaching decisions. You play a good effort, you do really well, you get to finish the game and get out there on the court like Malachi did too. Malachi's been finishing the last two games on the court, and that is reward for him playing ultra, ultra well. In fact, his defense last night was fantastic. The way he was guarding Garland and Mitchell and just hounding them, he was a big part of it too. OG was a big part of shutting down Mitchell in some ways. They just had a really good scheme. It was like they guide Mitchell to the middle of the lane, and then there's a big defender right there to stop him, and it really fucked him up. He wants to shoot it at a certain point in the lane. But, Fred would guide him. They'd ride him and they'd move him in a certain way into the middle of the lane. Malachi, same thing. And then, boom, Thad's right there, and it's a wall. And then Mitchell's turning the ball over. There were a lot of times where we got the ball from them in the middle of the lane because they got confused. And they couldn't do what they wanted to do because we took it away from them. And that's a genius defensive scheme by Nick Nurse, implemented and executed to a T by people putting the effort out like OG and Malachi on the court. And that was really fantastic. I really, really love that so much. Let's see. G saying Pascal was passing the ball to Scottie to start and encouraged him to go to the net. Yeah, Scottie just needs to go to the net. Listen, you can do this against Twin Tower, Tower City, the land. Wasn't there something cool about their logo on the middle of the court, the land? I know that's cheesy, the land, and the jerseys are kind of interesting because they were very like no color. They look like the Legend of Zelda font to me. It's it looked like their court was written like the Legend of Zelda, the land. I think they were trying to rip off that old font from the old video game, Legend of Zelda. But yeah, just a great game all around. Pascal getting Scottie down low, Scottie getting a lot of his baskets around the basket. You know, that if he can do that against Tower City, he can do that against anybody in the league. I'm sorry. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen can't stop Scottie near the basket. Nobody else in the league is going to be able to. Because Jared Allen is one of the best defenders in this league in the low post, and he was taking it right to him, and he wasn't stopping him. Isaac Campbell saying Scottie Barnes top star, no outside turkey talk allowed. That's right, no outside turkey talk by turkeys like Doug Smith. Forget about it. Oh yeah, he doesn't want any outside turkey. Don't send him any food, all right, y'all. Don't be door dashing him Chick-fil-A. Nako the Nacho saying Doug Smith's starting to get chippy with the people who are rightfully criticizing. I know there's a little bit of a fight online. In fact, you know, he's not even just getting criticized by people like us. Kyle Kuzma came after him on Twitter also. And he's saying, basically, Kyle said people in the NBA have no patience anymore for young players like Scottie. And he was directly talking about Doug Smith's article. You got Kyle Kuzma, player for the Washington Wizards, calling out a Toronto reporter for how they're reporting on Scottie Barnes. It's crazy. But yeah, they're coming after him. And he's like responding, I'm tired of this stuff. Well, you know what, Doug Smith, you know how to not step in a cow pie. Maybe you could avoid the cow pie in the future. You see it right there. It's got flies all flying around, and you step in it, you're going to get it all over your shoe. And that's what you're getting today from Raptor fans who don't like that you're writing this kind of bullshit and putting it out there. So good stuff. And keep getting after them. No problem with that. I have no problem with people going after Doug Smith today because he deserves it. He wrote it. He has to. You go ahead and get it for it. All right. Maybe you'll think twice about slandering Scottie Barnes in your newspaper, and then boom, you see what he does the next game. Scott B saying Doug Smith and Lewinberg and Granger are all fucking idiots with their stupid trolling questions. Scottie Barnes is our future star. Remember where Pascal and Fred came from? Yeah, it's true. Like they're all different degrees at different times. Like Grange and Smith, they pissed me off. Lewinberg's pretty good for the most of the part. He did try and start that bullshit with Thad Young not playing earlier this season. You know what? They're trying to make stories out of thin air. And so I don't know. Maybe they should just decide that certain stories are just not worth trying to put out there because they sound stupid. And maybe Raptor fans are a little bit more intelligent and they're not putting up with this kind of crap anymore. Maybe in the past you could get away with like ultra critical articles that really aren't fair to the Raptors and people would buy into them and really think that that's how it is. But no, we're smarter than that at this point. So y'all need to fucking up in your game and write more intelligently for Raptor fans, Doug Smith, Josh Lewinberg, and Michael Grange. Because we ain't putting up your negative bullshit anymore. You ain't coming with the team's best interest. You want to just write slam pieces, hit pieces, bullshit like Doug Smith did with Scottie Barnes this week. You're going to get it from us from now on because we have power, because we have Twitter and we have social media and we can come and call out your receipts and your bullshit of saying stuff. So expect us to come after y'all if you're irresponsible with this kind of shit. Michael Grange, Josh Lewinberg, Mike Ganter, Doug Smith, Eric Kareen, Oren Weisfeld, any of you guys, any of y'all ask some crazy ass questions, we're going to call you out for it at this point. That's right. Starscream is also saying he's a 20-year-old kid. It's dumb that people expect these young guys to be finished products after a year or two. It really shows that they just don't know the NBA. And the thing to me that's depressing about it is Doug Smith's been our beat reporter since the very beginning of our franchise. He was here when we were the Raptors in the 90s. And he's seen the whole time. Like, are you not that fucking bright, Doug Smith, that you don't understand how guys develop in this league? Like, seriously, do you not know basketball or how basketball works with like young players and how they get better over time? That they have to fail and succeed and learn that back both ways. The pendulum swings. Failure, success, failure, success. It's very much like that. You want to get it kind of more like this and more. But yeah, he's an idiot. He is an idiot. And Nets fan is calling him out. And I know Nets fan deals with all kinds of stupid ass journalists in New York also doing the same kind of shit. It's really dumb. Toronto, we could be better. We're Canadian. We don't need to be like the Big Apple in the way they destroy their teams with their articles in the newspaper. Be better than this, Doug Smith, because you're one of the most important journalists for the Raptors, unfortunately. And you do have a lot of say in a lot of people that aren't totally fully Raptor freaks like us. You know, casuals will read your newspaper and think that what you're saying about Scottie earlier this week is really true when you're stupid as fuck. Because I know better than you do, because I was around Scottie all summer on Twitch, and I know how much he was working out. And I know how hard he worked. And I know how many pounds of muscle he added to his frame this summer, working so hard. And you saying, oh, he needs to work harder in the summer? Who the fuck are you? Put down the beer and the donut and go get in the gym yourself, Doug Smith. How about that? How about them apples, motherfucker? Yeah. You don't know what he's been doing. In fact, you don't even understand. In Twitch all summer, there were idiots like you coming in saying, Scottie, you need to go to the gym right now. Scottie, you need to go to the gym. These motherfuckers didn't even know he was just at the gym, right? And he's on his break. In fact, he may have been on Twitch in the small window where he could go home and rest and hang out. He wanted to hang out with us, and then he went right back to OVO and worked out afterwards. He was like, we were sandwiched in between workouts, and you didn't even fucking know that because you weren't there. You didn't talk to him. You didn't see what he said. He's like, I just came from OVO. I'm going there now. It's 9 p.m., and I'm going there now. So, Doug Smith, you don't even know. You're not even informed, bro. I'm sorry. Maybe in some ways, I'm more informed than you are at this point, because I care more and I'm actually paying better attention than you at this point. So it's like, whoa, Doug Smith, I don't think your journalistic integrity, in some ways, I'm not a journalist, but I may be more factual and I may be more in the know than you are. So there you go, Doug Smith. There's them apples from me to you. My parents are staying in a hotel right near the Toronto Star. I'll come down there and meet you face to face if you want to have a little tete-to-tete to face to face. Yeah, I'll come down there and talk to you in person, Doug Smith. Yeah. Okay, G saying Scotty's been playing different positions, working on different skill sets. It takes time to put it all together. Patience. Yeah, like I said, let's look at Evan Mobley and let's like skewer him about last night ourselves. 5 for 7. That's a great shooting percentage. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, minus 13, 10 points. He only got 10 points. Evan Mobley's washed. He's a horrible player. Why did Cleveland draft him? He's so bad. You know, I sound stupid when I say stuff like that because we know Evan Mobley's a good player. And that's how stupid you sound, Doug Smith. I don't care that Evan Mobley got 10 points. I'm glad that Scottie outscored him and made a very much, once again, showed that he is the rookie of the year last year. And y'all Cleveland fans are all, woo-hoo, he's a fraud. Fuck you. You know he's not a fraud because he just messed up your team. So there you go. There you go. All right. I am a little feisty today, but we won, baby, and I'm feeling good. Merry Christmas. All right. Monique is saying, I think Brian Macon needs to tell Doug Smith off too. I think so. Let's go, Scottie. Happy for you. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Doug Smith, we could give you the phone number to Brian Macon, and he could tell you very much what Scottie's been doing because he's very much monitoring him as his personal trainer since he was like a preteen. This guy's been in his life. And I think he knows what's going on. In fact, Brian Macon had an interview this summer that said he's super impressed with what the Raptors have done with him. In fact, we fast-tracked him in some ways on some of the skills he's already been building with him. And that at the end of the year, Brian Macon in an interview said that he was really impressed with how much the Raptors got out of Scottie already. That he is advanced and further along than even Brian Macon thought he could be. And this is somebody who worked with him for 7 years before he even came to the NBA. So it's like... people are there for you to interview. Don't be lazy, Doug Smith. Put down the donut and stop going to the bar and go interview the people that know Scottie, like Brian Macon. Thank you, Monique. Thank you. And it's true. What's G's saying? He is trying harder things. He's dealing with working in the paint, but he's hugely successful already. You know, a lot of players like him would try and do the paint stuff and would fail miserably all over the place, whether they dribble a ball off their foot, they get called for offensive fouls, whether they're easily like stopped. This dude's not having that. He's getting the green light. He's going and he's being successful. So in some ways, he's at more advanced than other players that are trying to expand a low post offensive game all of a sudden their second year that they didn't even try to do hardly at all in their rookie year. And that's the biggest difference for an expert, a knowledgeable basketball person watching this will say, well, he's trying to play in the low post with his offense now. And that is so fucking hard. You think that's easy to do for anybody in this league? You can ask Shaq, even Shaq when he played in the low post, how hard it was having different people climbing on your arms and just to finish in contact down there. Well, he is having good success doing it. And to me, that's advanced. That means he's already getting to the spot, first of all. He's finishing more often than not and getting whatever shot he wants. That's the hardest stuff to do in the league. Well, he's going to make more and more of them. And the league's in trouble. Y'all are in trouble. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's keep going. Omari Parsons. Good morning to Raptor Freak Omari Parsons. You guys, if y'all need a house to rent, a house to buy, anything like that, he can help you with a mortgage in Mississauga 905. Also here in Toronto, Omari Parsons is in the phone book. Look him up if you need a place to live. He can really very much help you. Omari is saying Doug Smith is a bitter old man that understands that creating controversy is the only way he can keep his job. I know, maybe he's taking a little page out of that idiot that does YouTube on another channel, trying to stir the pot to try and get more attention, but being outrageous, being controversial and stuff. He doesn't need to do this. You know, the Toronto Star is a fairly good newspaper overall in this city compared to the other ones. And I think that the integrity of that newspaper is the way he should carry himself and the way he covers the Raptors. Don't do Mike Ganter, Toronto Sun bullshit, Doug Smith. You're above that. In fact, I rank you way higher than Mike Ganter. Mike Ganter, to me, doesn't even exist to a degree because he's so stupid the way he don't be like Mike Ganter is basically what I'm saying, Doug Smith. Have integrity and really show that you are a Toronto Star reporter and that your newspaper has a little bit more class because you're not showing it. You're not showing it right now, and it pisses me off. Fiercey's here. Good to see Fiercey Salsera. Good morning, fam. What a game yesterday. Always kept faith in Scottie, Freddie, OG, and Pascal. Even Gary Trent. The rest of the crew were phenomenal. I just love it when a plan comes together. Hannibal Smith. Yes. We had the whole team in the black van with the red stripe, the A team. Dun, 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 dun. That's right. We got out there with Howlin' Mad Murdoch, Scottie Barnes, Howlin' Mad Murdoch, and we had George Papard, Hannibal Smith as Fred Van Vleet. And then you have like B.A. Baracus is OG, obviously, because they have initials in their name. He's just a big, tough guy. And then you got Face Man. Face Man is Pascal Siakam. Yeah, the A-team was in effect last night. Oh, yeah. Isaac Campbell saying Scottie Barnes for best positionless point center ever. Best player ever because he can do everything and anything, and he really can. You think LeBron is trying to play center in his career? I don't think so. This man's trying to play center, and he does. He does the jump ball, and he dominates two Cleveland centers at once. And I love it. He dominated them. That clutch putback is like such a fail by them. They have two centers. They are known for their dual center attack and their dual point guard attack. Well, your two centers couldn't box out Scottie in an important play, and he dunked it on y'all. He literally dunked it on y'all. I love it. Nameless is saying OG showed up with his B tank and hit torch and soldered those leaky copper pressure fittings. I have to remember Nameless knows real plumbing terms. And I love this. He's saying this is like the detail. He's like, he showed up with his B tank. That sounds weird. And torch and soldered those leaky copper pressure fittings. I love the brain trust of the Raptor Freak Nation and that we have knowledge in all vocations and areas of expertise that we can have real plumbing terms to describe how OG cut off the water on Donovan Mitchell last night. That's right. We soldered those copper pressure fittings. Oh, Davis, you're the best. Mike saying Mitchell exposed, laughing my fucking ass off. OG.plumbing. That's right. I'm sorry, bro. You're not gonna have a water bill this month because you got your water shut off. It is just wrenched right off, and I'm sorry. You'd be pleasantly surprised. Mrs. Mitchell comes and say, Donovan, how come we don't have a water bill this month? OG was guarding me. Oh, you got your water shut off. Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right. Tom Dukes got the OG plumbing wrenches out, shut down the water in the land. Yeah, the land was waterless. Well, you know what, land? You got a lot of snow. Just go out there and just get a cup full of it and drink it because you ain't getting no water out of your plumbing because we shut it off last night. That's right. You better be glad you had a snowstorm so you can keep hydrated because that water's outside. It ain't in the pipes. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Scott B saying, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all the true Raptor fans and the rest. Yes, you go. Oh, that's a middle finger for the rest. Such holiday cheer. Thank you, Scott B. And yes, happy holidays to the Raptor freaks all over the place. Tomorrow, I have a gem for y'all. You are going to want to tune in. If you don't catch me live, that's fine because I may be only on for like 5 minutes tomorrow. But tomorrow, oh, I've got a gem, a burner. Number 1 on the charts coming out tomorrow. I've outdone myself for the Christmas Carol this year, and you guys are going to really love my Christmas Carol tomorrow. So if you don't see me first thing at 9:30 and watch it live, definitely catch me at some point tomorrow. You will have a huge smile on your face after you hear what I have composed for y'all for tomorrow. The Christmas Carol this year is oh, so good. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, let's see. Tom Dugan's got no water symbols all over the place. That's right. The little kids are going to school. Well, they're probably not because they're on break right now. But if they went to the school and they went to that little water fountain in the school hallway because they're like, teacher, can I get a drink of water? I need to go get some water on my throat. Okay, Johnny, go get some water. They go out in the hall and they're like pressing the button. There ain't nothing coming out of that water fountain. No, there ain't because the land is dry. It's dry because of O.G. Anunoby. We're having fun today. O.J. Simpsonobi says, past California, Siakam. Yeah, this man is looking like him. And I love that he's growing more and more into his leadership role. That last night, like I said, he was really showing leadership with Scottie and putting it out in front of us. It's like, Scottie, good job tonight. And Scottie's just about to get interviewed by Kayla Gray. Fantastic. And then like him telling Scottie is saying, look, don't get bored out there. This is huge, important kind of leadership. And in fact, that may have been part of why Scottie had such a good game and he stayed tuned into the game is because his vets were telling him, don't let your mind get distracted. Don't get into other places. Really tune in and stay and don't get bored out there. It could very well be that part of the problems that Scottie's had this season with his up and down play is he is like a gifted child in school. He may be in like regular classes and it's too easy to a degree. So his mind wanders and maybe he's not challenged enough. And in some ways, that may be part of the inconsistency that he just needs to be getting harder stuff and stay more in tune because in some ways it's easy for him. But he needs to keep challenges coming towards him and make new challenges. Just make them up, just like Michael Jordan would. You say, oh, I'm going to get this many points and this time, or be like Larry, I'm only a scorer with my left hand. If it's too easy and you're getting bored out there, Scott, you can make it harder for yourself. All right, let's see. G saying Nurse finally changed the NOAA system setting. I don't know what happened. They haven't been home, so I don't know. This has been a really successful road trip. We played 3 games on the road this week. We lost the first one to Philadelphia in a very close game, barely. And then we won in Madison Square Garden. And then we won last night in Cleveland. In fact, that stat about Cleveland not losing with Donovan Mitchell on their court this year yet was broken. That they had not lost a game when he was in the lineup. The only 2 times they lost at home were when he wasn't there. And that's super impressive. And good job, Raptors. This is the kind of stuff I love doing, is fucking up good records like that for other teams. Streak busters in effect. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Tom Duke's got the switch around on the NOAA system there. Monique is saying 3 stars of the game for her are Scottie, OG, and Pascal. Fred was dominating too. Malachi feels quite comfortable in the 4th these days. Listen, I just love that now Malachi's had such a weird career path with us. You know, we didn't get to play him that much. He goes to Pro-Ams this summer, drops huge numbers. Scottie's telling us on Twitch, you know, Malachi, I trust him. He really is a guy that we love, and he's going to be good, y'all. You need to just trust us. And, well, he was right. Like, the team's always known Malachi's got this shooting prowess, that he is really a deadeye. He's a great scorer, and he is a fantastic NBA player. It's all behind the scenes, though, in practice. We don't see it on the court as much. But these players have been playing with him for a couple of years. They know how good he is. And now we're getting to see the fruits of that, the development, the time spent in him to make it right. Well, Malachi, you do good things on the defensive end. You make your shots on the offensive end. Well, you're in the rotation all of a sudden. And I love that he's kind of dependable. Like when you see him shoot up a three, he's going to probably make that. If he's got it open and clean look, he will probably make it. And that's the great thing about it. He gets so mad when he misses shots he knows he should have made also. But yeah, Malachi's journey as a Raptor has been very interesting, and it's just now starting to like flourish and blossom, and really good timing too, because we do need it right now. And the 3-point shooting is absolutely helping us. Logical saying Malachi finally starting to put things together, but I don't know. I have a weird feeling still about him. This might be the small high burn to present him before the league starts scouting him and adjusts against him. Yeah, or it could also be, like we said, these guys may be getting traded, some of them in some ways. I don't want to trade Malachi at this point in some ways, but in some ways he may be very valuable and we could get maybe something else that we need. But maybe we do still need the 3-point shooting great players like Gary and Malachi, and we shouldn't be kind of shopping them. It's tough. We don't keep Gary. We might really have to keep Malachi in some ways. So Name was saying, gee, I was thinking about that last night too. About changing the Noah system. Nako saying Savannah is probably one of the more positive members of the media, so I don't think it'd be her. No, it wasn't. I think it was a voice. I think it was a reporter from Cleveland area, because I know they were snowed. There was a lot of snow yesterday. I don't know how many of our people were actually in Cleveland for that game. That they may have all been doing it remotely, and that the people that were in the media scrum room afterwards for the Raptors sounded like the same person that was asking the questions to the Cavs people too. And I think that was why those questions were so bad, because they were coming from journalists from Cleveland and really annoying. Chris Bernard's here. Good to see another new name. Chris, we're here every morning, 9:30 a.m. And I'll be here tomorrow on Christmas too. Every day talking Raptors, doing something Raptors wise. I hope you continue to join us, and thanks for subscribing. He says they're keeping Flynn. I hope so too. I mean, there's a lot of time invested in stuff like that. Why would we do all we've done with him and keep him around for so long if we weren't going to really try and enjoy the spoils of that development? And that in some ways, he really does have a lot of good connection with Fred and other Raptors as far as like knowing our system and time accrued. And like, you could tell with some of the touch passes and the way they were passing around last night that he knows where to be and they know where to look for him too. So yeah, I think you're right. I'd like them to keep, honestly, I want them to just keep the team. Now I know it may not be realistic to keep Gary just because the money's going to be a bump up this summer and we may want to get value for him before the summer and he just walks on a contract and goes somewhere else. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shapes up, but things are going good. That's what matters. Fiercely saying, I saw someone calling them Cleveland cadavers. I hollered. But on a serious note, the Cavs have no answer for us. We own them. In some ways, this is true. I mean, we've actually played them really well last year also. They did get a couple of games against us last year, but our winning percentage against them is very good these days. Milwaukee's another team like this. If we have a team we didn't play very well recently and our record's kind of messed up right now, we can be a spoiler team still. And in fact, I like these small victories. We've won the season series against Cleveland. I love that. I'd love to have the winning season series over the Bucks and the Celtics also. And the potential for that happening this season is still there. We haven't played the Bucks yet. And we've only played the Celtics once, and they beat us only once. Well, we can beat those two teams in their season series this year, and those are the top 3 teams in the East. Hey, I'll take it. Now, Brooklyn, we can't get that against at this point, and that sucks. It does really piss me off. But it is what it is. Now, Philly, that's another team we could even it up with at least because we're 1-2 with them. But I do pay attention to like season series and whether we beat these top teams or not. And Cleveland being 3-0 against Cleveland this year is great. I love it. I love it. It's like we got it in hand. They can't beat us this season. We have one more game against them. The best they can do is win one against us. Well, we could sweep them. That's the best we can do. So I love it. I love it. We're a good matchup against them, and they know it. And they don't want to play us in the playoffs. I'll bet you for damn sure they don't. Isaac saying, rather than playing the 5 best guys on any given night, Nick Nurse played the matchups to uniquely build a game strategy. That's how we win. Team winning for the win. You forgot that part about we champs 2023. You know what? We hadn't said this in a couple weeks because it's been dark. But I'm going to say right now, Toronto Raptors NBA champions 2023. Well, does that sound crazy after last night or the New York game? I don't think so. It's still very, very possible. We're not statistically out of it. It may be a harder route being sub 500 at this point right now, but this is a similar place where we were at this point last year also. So anything's possible. And we can get this truck out of the mud, get it down the road with more wins, build some more wins on top of wins, and look out. All of a sudden, we're in the top 6 and have a full playoff spot. So who knows? We're going to give it some time and see what happens. But yeah, I can say NBA champions 2023 Toronto Raptors, 2023 NBA champions Toronto Raptors. And I don't sound as crazy today because we saw our team work very well last night. Let's see. Keeping on going with the comments. I love seeing everybody here today and celebrating the great win last night. Fantastic stuff. And you know what? Listen, guys. You can always come here and we will talk Raptors. If you ever have that worry or wanting to talk about Raptors, you come to Raptor Freak Channel. We will talk Raptors. Okay, I'm going to make sure I get through all y'all's comments. It did jump, so I'm going to try and get this right here. Hang on. Wow. Okay, there's a lot. I'll speed up and we'll do our best. Okay, let's see. G saying someone called Cleveland, Scotland. Scottie land. Yeah. Yeah, Scotland. Yeah, it's Scottish now, Scotland. Monique saying scary Gary hours in full effect. Not many will talk about this, but congratulations, Thad, on 14,000 career points. Fred being funny with it, though. Yeah, he called him the old man. He put the little old man emoticon in his celebration for Thad. But this is crazy. Thad Young got 3 points last night. Let's look at Thad Young real quick. This is really interesting what happened. 16 minutes, 1 of 2 from the field. He got 1 at the free throw line also. So he made a basket and he made 1 and 2 free throws, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, plus 2 3 points. Now that Thad was good. Thad did vet things. He was a good hold a spot and play solid, but not like do a whole lot, but not do anything to mess us up either. But he managed in the 3 points that he scored to score his 14,000th NBA career point. And that is a huge accomplishment in all kinds of ways. And I love, as much as they were celebrating Pascal on Wednesday for his 52-point performance in New York, the Raptors put Thad Young on blast on their Instagram last night. In fact, it started with Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher was the first one to put it up and celebrate. It's like, look, this man just had a DNP, did not play last night. And is he salty about it? No. He's celebrating his vet. In fact, he called Thad a goat. He said to the GOAT. And Thad was like, thank you. In his response post of Chris's post. Precious posted it. All these guys posted a celebration of Thad Young getting 14,000 points. That is a big deal. Not many players get that long in the NBA to be able to get to that plateau of 14,000 points. Congratulations, Thad Young. It's a big deal. And it's kind of funny you did it on 3-point performance last night. So you must have been sitting right near it for a while. And you were ready for it to happen. Well, it happened last night. Good stuff. And thank you, Monique, for bringing it up. You really are the person that makes sure nothing gets through the cracks as far as remembering what to talk about today. I really appreciate your role, Monique Lawrence, on what you do on this channel. You really are the person who makes sure I talk about what needs to be talked about. And I appreciate that. Space Cadet's here. Always good to see Space Cadet. Never doubted this team for a second. All the tankers can suck it. I know I said a little bit about tanking, but once again, I'm just going to try and make the best out of whatever situation the Raptors are in. And, there were no guarantees that we're going to figure it out again like we did just now. But you know what? I'm glad we did because I'd much rather go through winning for the rest of the season than, kind of dismal, kind of like, what are we doing? Searching our souls every night, whether we should win or lose, depending on things because we're just not good enough. Well, we're good enough. We really are. We were the whole time. It's just we had a lot of different things that weren't lining up to help us get enough to win games recently. But we were that close. We really were the whole time. And now we busted through and we can do this again. Honestly, I don't care who we're playing. Next week, we're playing 3 Western Conference juggernauts, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Phoenix Suns. And yeah, I feel real good playing against them in our own building next week. No travel and just hang out all week at home. Keep warm in the house, away from all the snow out there, Raptors. And yeah, let's mess up some Western teams when they come north of the border. The Clippers playing the Pistons on Monday night and then coming to Toronto to play us on Tuesday night. It doesn't hurt. And we'll really have to monitor and see if Kawhi is going to play in which game. I'd love for him to sit the Monday night game and get his heroes welcome back here in Toronto on Tuesday night in a uniform to play. Now, some people are saying, you don't want to play with Kawhi? Fuck that. Let him play against Detroit and sit against us so it's easier. No, we don't want to go the easy route. Bring him to us. We want to see him against the Raptors because we have not seen that since he left us. And we want to see Kawhi play against the Raptors, and especially want to see Kawhi come into our arena and get the adulation that he deserves as a champion and a finals MVP for the Toronto Raptors in 2019. So I really hope Kawhi is not playing on Monday, and he will be playing on Tuesday here against us. Mike is saying, Bo Cruz has solid fundamentals and doesn't make bad decisions. He's capable all around and great depth piece. Masai signed Bo when the GMs were on vacation, and Masai never sleeps and got him on $2 million. Juancho has been a really awesome pickup, and it really does have a lot to do with Marc Gasol, Jose Calderon, and Sergio Scarione, because those guys know Bo, and Bo knows them, and they know the Raptors, and they could say, look, you want to play on a good team and you'll be happy, go to the Raptors, sign with them. And that probably did give us some favor. He may have been hot item this summer because of the Bo Cruz movie, and people have eyes on him, and he's there could be that the Sixers did say, we can make this real. You could come and play on us this year and make this movie a real thing. And maybe he was like, yeah, but you have Joel Embiid, and I have no respect for him. And no. And my coach for Spain wants me to go to Toronto. And that's why I'm on the Raptors this year and not on the Sixers, like that movie, Hustle Play, or whatever. What is Hustle? I forget what that movie's called. I just called it the Bo Cruz movie. But yeah, it was a great pickup, and we're seeing it more and more. I was mystified by it a little bit when it happened. I was like, this is really out of left field and kind of weird, but now it all makes sense. Let's see. Monique saying Donovan Mitchell, who? Spider who? There's a spider on the wall. Smash. Dom Duke saying Precious is so funny. Yeah, it is funny. That little Christmas clip is so wholesome and fun. And I love that his co-star, the Bag of Milk, makes an appearance in it, because I feel like that's an important continuity from old clips of him at his house with the Bag of Milk. But yeah, go check out that Open Gym. In fact, listen, they're saying that today there'll be an Open Gym episode for Christmas. It's a special Raptors Open Gym episode is dropping today. So be on the lookout for that sometime today. And that part that I'm talking about with Precious is in that episode. But I'm sure there's all kinds of Christmas stuff with all different Raptors in that episode. So we'll have to see what Open Gym has for us tonight. And I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Sure, it's going to be fantastic. Mike is saying sweet, slim music, like sweet chin music. And yeah, it's so funny they're calling each other that at this point. It's like, are they doing this in the game? Like, are the other guys saying, why did you call him Triple H? Why'd you call him Shawn Michaels? I don't know. Maybe they all need to have wrestler persona names. I kind of like Scottie to be The Rock in some ways. I know Chris said he's like The Rock in person on his Hustle Play Live recording. But in some ways, I want Scottie to be like The Rock and be like, and the millions and millions. I don't know. The wrestling Raptors crossover is what I've been waiting for so long. And thank you, Chris Boucher, for opening that door. Let's see. Tom Duke is saying, I was thinking Big Four might do Twitch too. And he has so many that would send him love. Can't blame him for not wanting food sent to him. Also, he had just finished kicking butt on an NBA court. Yeah, he wasn't in Toronto last night in the weather, and I'm sure he got back either last night or this morning. So that's what I'm saying, Tom. I don't know what you got going on this weekend with your holidays and family and stuff, but I know for this evening, probably starting around 3:00 this afternoon, I will not be able to watch him on Twitch until maybe 10 p.m. tonight. So the window for me to Twitch watch for him is closed today. And tomorrow, it may be very slim also, just because it's Christmas. But if he does get on there, and any of you Raptor freaks are able to get on there, make sure you share that holiday love with him, and make sure that he feels like he's with people that care about him on this holiday season. I just really, really hope that happens for him. And if you guys are available to do that, please do it. Cool Cat, Tom Duke, Isaac Campbell, Click, whoever else I know that has been in those streams with him. Monique also, show him the love if he does get on there. I think he will because he played so good last night and they are on a 2-game winning streak. So he can deflect some of the criticism and bullshit that maybe people will come at him with. Let's see. Nameless saying, I agree. I thought his post-game interview was awfully peculiar. Certainly seemed like somebody with his guard up and feeling uneasiness. In some ways, I feel like I have a part to do with this because I was just so on his Twitch this summer. And when I met him in person, I said, thank you for the Twitch this summer. And he kind of was like, and I don't know, meeting me in person may have made it more real to him. That it's not like we're just names with a division of way, and like he never has to see us in person. Well, he found out we could kind of come and see him, whether it's at the game or if he's doing an appearance like that. And it may have freaked him out a little bit to understand that, like, you know what, the world is there's a lot out there. And I don't know. It really is partly him starting to grapple with being famous because he really this summer he showed so many times that he just doesn't understand how famous he is at this point. That he wanted to ride his scooter around in Toronto and not have people recognize him and try and talk to him. That he didn't realize that is just going to happen because he is a celebrity. He's the rookie of the year, and people do globally know who he is. He's still a kid from Florida, and he doesn't totally understand what his fame entails at this point. And it may be that in some ways he's like, okay, people are trying to get at me. I want to put up more of a fortress. So I don't know. Like, it was weird. The last time he streamed on Twitch, he was watching clips of Aiden Ross and Flight play each other one-on-one on a basketball court. And it was so awful. They were horrible. And we were carving them up in the chat section. We were saying, these guys can't play, and they sucked. And I said to Scottie, I said, you need to watch some good basketball now to clear your mind of that garbage you just watched. That is not good for you to watch, because that if you get any kind of vibes from that into your game, seeing how badly Aiden Ross and Flight play basketball against each other. And he's reading all our comments. And at some point he was kind of like, you know what? I don't want to be on here with you guys anymore. And maybe we were too mean to his friends because everybody was carving them up. Everybody. And the only thing I said is you need a palate cleanser of good basketball that fixes bad basketball you're just watching. But other people were like really carving them up. And maybe in some ways he was like, you know what? Because I remember him saying in that Twitch, you guys are not going to see me on here for a while. And it has been 2 months since. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. And I don't know. I hope he will return to Twitch at some point. And like I said, if he very likely it could happen this weekend. But it is a weird thing. And it really is him grappling with, he's only 21 and he's learning what fame entails. And it's really weird to have such an open view to it because of having access to him on Twitch and really kind of understanding where he is with his head on that. So that's what I'm saying. I may know more about what's going on with Scottie than Doug Smith or other people just because I spent 137 hours on Twitch with him this summer. That I really saw him at different times when he's irritable, when he's really happy and giddy, when he's kind of bored, when he's hungry, when he's tired, when he's, what is interesting to him, what it doesn't like, what he is interested. I learned a lot this year. And I know that Tom and Isaac and Cool Cat and other people that were there frequently also did too. We got to know him. And for me, I think it really is. He's putting up more of a fortress around publicly just so he can have more privacy in some ways. Maybe he was a little too far out there and now he's dialing it back just because he feels like he needs to, because people want a piece of him at this point. But yeah, it was sad and depressing in a way. I was like, dude, why don't you go see John French? Why don't you go see your mom or your grandma, your cousins, your uncles and aunts, any of those people? No. And it was very similar kind of thing this summer. It's like, and some people were like, why aren't you in Florida? It's like, because I'm in Toronto and I'm home and this is my home. He really does feel like his home with Cardi, his dog, and his condo here in Toronto is his home at this point. So it's like he doesn't want to go back to Florida in December for Christmas with his family down there. He would rather be here. And I don't know how to read into that. Maybe some of them come up here and maybe he has them here, but it sounds like he's not celebrating Christmas at all. It could be very well that Christmas is not a nice time of the year for him from his childhood or memories and stuff. You know, he came from a very, very poor background. They did not have a lot of money. And Christmas may be a touchy time of the year for him for different reasons. Now, that's just me speculating, but from a caring place and trying to understand him more. All right, let's keep going. Country Kong saying another great win. Let's go Raptors. Yes, Country Kong, you go. You're a believer. I've seen what you've been saying in this chat for the last couple weeks. You knew this was going to happen. Raymond Jacobs wondering if the chat's been disconnecting for anyone else. I don't know, Raymond. There has been outages of power around Toronto in different places, so maybe check your place. Fiercely saying, what's Scottie's Twitch handle? Those who do catch him on, please send me some love and light. Tell him Raptors Freak Nation are 1,000% behind him. It's your boy Scottie is the name of his Twitch handle, and you can go follow him right now. I am a 6-month subscriber, and yeah, I've been a big supporter of his, and we are his Twitch family. He knows that. He gets his stats this end of the year, and he sees all the people who are with him in Twitch. He will see the Raptor Freak's name in the top 5 of the most watched people that watched him the most. It'll be me, Guerrilla Marketing, maybe what's his name, Durrani. You know, there were some regulars that were always there, and I was one of those main 4. Guerrilla Marketing, Durrani, and myself. I think we're very much there almost all the time. Flow Kid Florida was there all the time. Yeah, there's certain regulars that were almost always on there with him. Let's see. G saying, Scottie seemed to me that he did want to say the wrong thing. If he said he was celebrating, some crazy fans may accuse him of not focusing. As he grows, he won't care about the noise. No, I'm going to guess right now, G, he's actually not going to be celebrating Christmas, that he's just being honest. That he maybe he just thinks is annoying. I mean, honestly, he's a millionaire. He's an NBA guy now. He can get whatever he wants. Every day is a Christmas to him. I don't know. I really wish and hope that he's doing something with the team. Like maybe he's going to go to one of the other players' house and do a Christmas with them and stuff like that. But if he's here by himself and he's just at his house playing video games and twitching, or not even twitching and just playing video games, I'm going to be worried about him. And hopefully at least Max will still be in town or something. Probably not, because Max is probably going to go do Christmas with his family. Well, maybe Scott, go do Christmas with Max or something. I don't know. I just don't like the idea that you're going to be by yourself over the holidays. You need to go and be with some people, whether it's your teammates, your team, or your friend Max, or your family, or at least just be on Twitch with your Twitch family, and we can talk to you there and show you the love and share the love that you share with everybody else and made such a big deal out of the last year, sharing the love. You say it in your commercial. We believe it. You need to get it back because we know that you give so much. You need to get it back. And maybe you're not feeling it enough from us because of stupid ass Doug Smith and other people criticizing you so much lately. So let's give the love back to Scottie because he's been so generous with giving it to us. So let's see. Monique saying Pascal and Yaka Pirtle, Precious and Chris 2.0, bromance forever. Yeah, there's all kinds of different little friendships that happen on the Raptors. They're just so fun. Colin DeMar, Pascal and Jakob, and now Precious and Chris is starting to develop into this. I mean, Ron and Jeff Dowden are a little bit of a fun duo now. That recent open gym with them palling around is kind of fun to watch there. They're little sets of friends on the team. OG and Scottie are kind of like this at this point. You know, Delano and Justin. That's another little pair that's so fun that are best friends. And it's good that you have these kind of friendships on teams. In some ways, I see Fred bonding with Thaddeus as old head like guys, vets on the team, that they are very bonded themselves too. Isaac saying Scottie Barnes is just a young man learning about life while simultaneously learning every position in the NBA. Yeah, such an easy task. It's like no tall order here, Isaac. Give me a break. Wow. He's learning everything about fame and life as a 21-year-old and also trying to learn all 5 positions on the NBA court. So easy. Why hasn't he figured it out yet? Oh my gosh, Scottie, get with it. Faster. Come on, people. Give him a break. Tom Duke saying, gee, I think he would get nervous. He gets nervous in interviews. Geez, I would. He does. He talked about it. And he did some things last night in the interview. He's going to probably watch it afterwards and he's going to cringe because he hates saying, and we told him, it's like, Scott, just don't say, just pause. Just collect your thoughts. This is me personally taught him this. I said, Scott, all you got to do, because I have a background in some public speaking, is saying instead of when you feel like you're going to say, just pause. Collect your thoughts and just speak it without it. When you feel like it's coming, just stop. Don't say anything. You can wait and collect your thoughts and have a moment where it's silent. And people will actually be like, oh, I want to hear what he's going to say. And he did it. He started practicing it on the stream after we taught him that. He's like, okay, I'm going to try this. And he started practicing it on the stream with us. Well, he's like so busy from the game. He's exhausted and he's caught off guard. He wasn't really practicing it in the interview last night. And he probably rewatched it and be like, man, I say so many times in this interview and I don't like it, because he does want to fix that. And it's his public speaking in the after game interviews is important to him. He's actually really does criticize himself and try to do better. He wants to sound really smart and not stupid, and that's important to him. So I think he's doing good. And I told him, you're going to get a lot of practice at this. Trust me, you're going to be getting a lot of after game interviews. So you're going to be getting a lot of practice at this, Scott. You're going to get better and better. And we'll see in like 2 years, you're going to be so polished in interviews. It's going to be crazy. Let's see. G saying that's what I got out of his interview, Tom. Yeah, it is a little bit of nervous. I mean, he's really is under a microscope right now, and he doesn't want to say the wrong thing for sure. He's awesome and he's rising. I agree with that. Kareem Thomas saying, listen, I don't want to force it, but OG Anunoby needs a nickname. Should do a poll of some sort and figure it out for the new year. I do like OG Oh My, but he's greater than that. OG Wananobi, OG Original Gangsta. I don't know. There's a lot of different routes they can go. This is naturally going to happen. He's going to get the name that he's supposed to get. And I think you're right. Maybe he does deserve a nickname of some sort. Maybe we can think cleverly. Maybe we have a Thursday think tank of like, what do we nickname the players? Different names. SB4 is good. Scottie, we talked a lot about nicknames for him this summer. Different ones. And maybe OG needs some focus on this also. I agree, Kareem. Scott B saying, got to support this kid way more than we rip him. He has come to this country with open arms and has worked his ass off and embraced his team and country like no other before him. This is true. This is absolutely true. He may seem aloof and he may seem a little like weird right now, but it is really true that we just need to embrace him and support him and just allow him to do as well or bad as he's going to do game to game. And we need to stop, like I said, get him out from underneath that microscope. There's no reason for it. Let's allow him to grow. And the more of us that act in this way, hopefully other people will follow suit. There's always going to be a Doug Smith or someone stupid making articles like that. And we'll just call them out on their shit and just be the supportive fan base on our own. Okay, let's see. Name is saying, Common, man. The way they get up on the glass, they can't keep either of them off the glass on both ends. The Glass brothers. Okay, that's where you're getting it from beginning the rebounds. I get it now. Nameless, I get it. Forgetful saying, happy to see Nick Nurse punch the nervous Nellies in the mouth during his post-game interview. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was such a stupid question. Why would you frame it that way? Who has characterized Scottie Barnes as having stunted growth this season? In fact, stunted growth is a very loaded thing at this point because it is a channel on YouTube. I highly recommend it. Stunted Growth. Go watch it. It's about NBA players that don't reach their full potential and why. It's like a cautionary tale. It's a great channel for NBA players currently in the league because you can watch these stories and see potential pitfalls and ways that you could fuck up your career because of how guys fucked up their career before you. Totally recommend that YouTube channel, Stunted Growth. So when I heard the two words stunted and growth together and from that interviewer's mouth, I was like, this is bullshit right now because that's such a loaded term at this point. How have we stunted his growth? Like I said earlier, Brian Macon, the guy who's been working Scottie out for years, has said that the Raptors have actually accelerated his growth. So there's no stunting of his growth right now. That's why Nick Nurse rolled his eyes and was kind of like, what the fuck is this bullshit you're laying out in front of me, lady reporter? Why are you saying this? Stunner. I never said this. And I think it's actually laughable what you're suggesting and what you're saying. Like, you think that Scottie's growth has been stunted this year or that he's not playing as well this year? I don't see that. That's the thing. There's a disconnect between the media and toxic Raptor fans and how they feel about what Scottie's been doing and what the players, the coach, and Scottie himself think of how he's doing. Chris has said on Hustle Play, Scottie's playing great. I don't understand why people think he's slumping or he's having a hard year. He's playing fantastic. Nick Nurse, he's doing everything I want him to do. He's a connector on offense. He's playing really solid defense. I don't understand why people think he's having a bad year. And Scottie himself will say, I don't think I've been playing that bad. I've been playing very well. It really is stupid. These people don't know what they're talking about. We need to listen to the coach, his teammates, and the actual guy himself on how they assess how he feels like he's doing. And that's who really knows. And that's why Nick Nurse will roll his eyes at every single reporter that asks him, why is Scottie struggling? He's like, what? Is Scottie struggling? I don't believe that. I don't see it. I'm seeing him every day as his coach. So that's who you go to, the source that knows. And that's the people that are there, the person himself, his coach, and his teammates, not Doug Smith, not that stupid lady asking the questions last night. Yeah, it's really dumb. All right, let's see. Chris Bernard saying OG Kalel and Anunoby. That's like a reference to Superman, right? Superman's real name is Kal-El, right? From the planet Krypton. So I like that reference, Chris. Good stuff. I like your presence in the chat, and I hope you'll come and frequent with us some more. Monique saying, win against Clippers, we move up in the standings instantly. I'll say Juancho panning out as the fifth Beatle, making this rotation possible. Yeah, I don't mind him starting, but I know when Precious comes back, he needs to be that starter in that spot. It's kind of really well crafted, and in some ways, he will be a huge upgrade in different things for Juancho in that spot. Juancho really is a placeholder at this point in the starting lineup. That is Precious's start to come back and take. And Gary's is way better off the bench. We can see this. In fact, we knew this last year, and this should have been something maybe we should have done last year, but we wanted to get Gary's stock up and make him known as an established, he can start and be a very good starter. But now that we know this, and he can always be reverted back to the starting lineup, his really good production off the bench is very valuable. And I don't think he's going to get back in the starting lineup with the Raptors, that he's just a really good six-man three-point shooter guy for us. And that when Precious comes back, he will be starting in Juancho's place. And we'll have a Fred, OG, Scottie, Pascal, and Precious starting lineup. And that is nasty. I'm going to tell you that right now. Precious is a really, really good upgrade when he gets healthy and comes back. And he should start. I want to see him in the starting lineup and see what kind of things he can produce on that kind of level. He could be very well like a fifth dude. Like all five of those starters are very much guys who go and get 20 to 30 points any night. And I like that kind of diversity and equality among Fred, Scottie, OG, Pascal, and Precious, because that really can. And Gary's the same way too off the bench. So let's see. OG, the plumber, and Anunoby. It's not very flashy, G, and it's kind of like clunky. I don't know if the plumber is a good nickname for him. It may be that we only are the only ones talking about him being a plumber here on the Raptor Free channel. We wanted something more mainstream and that's easy that everybody can pick up on. And it's just natural. Like Trey Boucher was very natural and made sense in so many different ways. That's really a part of what a good nickname is. That you hear it and you're like, that is the perfect nickname for him. And that's why it's got to be worked out and figured out over time. It's not just like, oh, this is their nickname. Let's see. Stops any leak. I like that. Scott B saying OG is a silent assassin. I gave him that name a long time ago on this channel. Yeah, he is somewhat of a silent assassin. He's so funny when he's trying to argue with the refs. Like when he's like talking to them, he's kind of like, I wonder if the refs are like kind of like respect him because he's so mild mannered when he comes to them. Like maybe he's not yelling at them. He's kind of like saying, I didn't foul him. It's like I didn't touch him. And he's like, and Tyler Ford's kind of like, you know what? OG's such a nice guy. Maybe I should give him more, favor because he's so polite and such a nice, mild mannered young man. It's like, I wonder about that sometimes, but I don't know. Silent Assassin is a great name. That was James Worthy back in the day. He was the silent assassin because James Worthy would never talk any trash on the court. He'd just destroy you. That's what they called him. It's like he never said anything on the court and he would absolutely kill guys. Joe Dumars is another guy that was never talked trash and was known as a silent assassin also back in the day. Joe Dumars, James Worthy, those kind of players. I don't know. Silent assassin, it's not bad. It could work. Let's see. Logical Raptors Fanatic saying it's not defense anymore. It's OG fence. And what the fuck? Good at fouling, shows his basketball IQ and why he's not a playoff player, because the playoffs are exactly like that. Mitchell is a clown. Oh yeah, you listen, Mitchell. You don't play in the Western Conference anymore. You think that we're fouling you? Oh, wait until you get in the first round against a team like Philadelphia or Brooklyn or something like that. You're gonna find out real quick. Eastern Conference basketball isn't like Western Conference basketball, and that may be part of why I think you're a fail. Is because you may be coming with a style that's like, ooh, debonair and scoring and easy, maybe a little more European. Well, you're about to get punched in the face in the Eastern Conference. You get used to how the Raptors treated you last night, because in the first round of the playoffs, you're going to get the same damn shit from whatever team you're going to be playing, because you are on the eastern side of the U.S. now. And yeah, that's just how we play over here. So get used to it. And I think Mike's exactly right. It shows how stupid you are. You don't realize that. Nameless is saying, OG assassino della zona. OG assassino della zona. Yes, Nameless Italian lessons. He's got a little gun. Interesting. OJ Simpson Nobi saying, I'm a killer on the court. Hey, look at this. You guys are really pulling this. All right, let's see. Sounds scary, Nameless. Sounds like something Corleone would say, old Marlon Brando. Nameless is saying, that was crazy when the ref apologized for giving a foul. Unreal. That was all I needed to see. Well, you see, Tyler Ford's just a little dude. I called him Howdy Doody yesterday. He's just a little dude. He's so small out there. And Nagy's small too. They had two little small refs and then Mitchell Irvin, former player. But yeah, Tyler here is weird because he seems like he can be pushed around a little bit in some ways. And that was really what that seemed like to me when I saw that. And Chris Bernard saying so true. Mike's saying facts on Scottie noticing everything being talked on has him in his head and think about what he does too much. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, Scott, forget about all us. Forget about the noise. You can come watch me. I'll try and be positive and be a best force to help you in all kinds of ways. But don't listen to Doug Smith. Don't listen to these other people. They don't have your best interests at heart. And a lot of us Raptor freaks do. And that's what I'm saying. So, figure out where you want to listen to, who you want to listen to, and just cut everything else out. It's not worth your time. Your friends and your family may come to you and say, these people are saying this about you. And you say, I don't care. It's just noise. It's stupid. Because the only thing that matters is you showing up and listening to Siakam and staying out there and not being bored and staying dialed in and just playing at a good level. We don't even need you to be perfect all the time. You're going to make mistakes as a young player still. It's going to happen. But as long as you are trying to make the best winning play next game, next moment in the game, then you know what? That's all that matters to us, because you're going to improve and get so good in the next couple of years. And you're smart. That's part of it too, is like you can kind of see some of the potential on the court, and it's going to happen one way or another. You're going to get there. It's just that you want it maybe quicker, like the fans want it quicker too, but let it happen naturally. You're going to be one of the most dominant players in the league in the next 2-3 years. I really do believe this. All signs are there. You do things like Kawhi Leonard does, and we know how dominant Kawhi Leonard is. And there's no reason why you can't do exactly the same. You have the same body as him. You have the same giant hands as him. There's no reason why you can't emulate or do similar things to what Kawhi has done in his career. And that is even going all the way and winning championships, just like Kawhi does. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. He's a real one. And he's going to be doing this. And we need to just allow him to be who he is. Monique saying, I love the fact that OG brought up the London, England fans supporting him like crazy. Of course, just beautiful to hear OG Defensive Player of the Year vote. Do it, y'all. That's right. Put in the all-star votes every day, y'all, for Pascal, OG, Scottie, Freddie, Gary, all those guys. Just vote all Raptors on one side. And on the Western side, vote all former Raptors like Jakob, Jonas, Kawhi, Norman Powell. You put that all Raptor all-star ballot in and get all those Raptors and former Raptors on the all-star game. I love it. But yeah, I like the little segment about his connection to England. We don't talk about enough that OG was born in London. We focus more on like him kind of being American, playing at Indiana, kind of being from Nigeria also. But we don't talk enough about him actually being born in the UK. and that apparently he's actually causing growth and interest in playing basketball in the UK. Apparently, there's a young man who came over from the UK, a British kid, and wanted to see OG play, and he's inspired by him. And there's a whole piece out about how OG is impacting young people to want to play basketball in England. And that's so interesting and weird in some ways to me. Randolph Phillips is saying, blessings to our beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. There's a winning streak that we hope to continue on the 27th. It was a great Christmas gift. Yes, Randolph Phillips, Merry Christmas and happy holidays to the Phillips family. I know it's you still have a bittersweet, hard feeling in your heart from losing a loved one this year, but still, listen, we love you guys, the Phillips family, and all the best to y'all. Merry Christmas and have a fantastic time with your family and together, and just count the blessings and just the happiness. And thank goodness the Raptors are on a winning streak going into the holidays. It makes it so much nicer and happier. We could be Cleveland fans right now. You saw how sour their racist faces looked in Cleveland last night. They showed the crowd and they just all pissed off and stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, Ohio's a racist state. And, listen, Cleveland fans, you can start saying that you think that the refs were helping y'all. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret about the refs last night. Two of them were born in your state, were from Ohio. Andy Nagy and Tyler Ford are both from Ohio. So you had a little bit of home cooking refs that are actually from the area. Maybe that they're from South Ohio and they hate people from Cleveland, because there really is that division in that state. Like people down in Toledo and Cincinnati, they don't necessarily like people from Cleveland, and vice versa. And then don't even get me started about Columbus and Ohio State in that part of the middle part of Ohio. So yeah, Cleveland, you go ahead and think the refs were against you. Well, they're from your home state. All right, Mike saying, I got you, Lex. Today's drop shows that up and down of development in the new stat format. NBA teams' secret styles, the stuff they can't show format. Look, thanks, Mike. And thanks for having my back. And you guys, 2:00 today, Logical Raptors Fanatic will drop another great content that he has worked on this week. And he's talking about development in the new stat format. Y'all check him out. Seriously, give him a follow. He's very interesting with a lot of numbers and a lot of information. Very, very factual and very, very good stuff. It is very logical, and he is a fanatic. And we love you, Mike, and we appreciate you. Happy holidays to you and your mom, and have a kick-ass weekend this weekend. I'm telling you right now. But look out for Mike's stuff. 2:00 today. He's dropping it. You know he is. Chris Bernard saying, peace. Peace on earth. Peace on earth, because it is Christmas. That's right, baby. All right, let's see. Monique saying, I'm going to pinpoint a line from Leo. Never mind. These last two losses focused on this win streak, despite the losses between the Magic were terrible. The Magic, listen, I'm saying it again. They looked like it was really bad. They were losing to the worst team in the Eastern Conference, but they're not the worst team in the Eastern Conference. That team is good, and they're on their way up, and there was nothing wrong with losing to them. Mike saying Lex got that smoke for Doug Smith. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you come on down. I'll come down to Toronto Star. I know where your building is. I'll say, where's Doug Smith's office? I'm coming in here. I'll be in there, and it'll be like a scene from Fletch. I'll come in there, and I'll be reaming him out, just like Fletch's boss, the editor, would ream him out. Fletch, what are you doing writing these articles? What are you doing, Fletch? He's like, I need to go to another Lakers game. Nako's saying, I think last year's draft class is pretty good, but right now I think Herb Jones and Jalen Green are the only ones I'd say are consistent. Herb Jones, his role isn't as important on the Pelicans in some ways. He has other guys that kind of cover up for him, and he isn't expected to do as much as Scottie or Evan in some ways. He can very much be like a secondary player on the team, and really a lot of what Herb Jones is doing is defensive. He doesn't have to do a whole lot on offense to look good in what they're doing. Now, I think you're exactly right with Jalen Green. And the only reason why Jalen Green is consistent is because he has to be the man for the Rockets. And I knew somebody was going to bring up Jalen Green and the things I've been saying about the rookies this year, whether it's Franz, whether it's Evan Mobley, whether it's Scottie. These guys have up and down games. And Jalen Green may not, but that's only because he gets so many chances to shoot and do whatever. He's going to produce no matter what, because he's the number one option for the Rockets. And he's going to shoot 30. He could shoot 30 shots and make like 9 of them. And that's a shitty game. And that's what it would look like. But he still has like 20 points. So that's the difference. It's like Jalen Green's still slumping. It's just that his games look he can make a lot of points still, even though he played shitty, because the Houston Rockets absolutely have to have him playing like that. So that there's a little bit of a difference with both those names as far as things. And I'll agree, Herb Jones has been very consistent, but in some ways, what he has to do is not as big a scale. And then Jalen Green has all the world or all the time in the world to mess up and do as much, and he'll still produce consistently anyway, even though it may not be efficient, is what I'm saying. Tom Duke is saying Doug Smith deserves the smoke. Big Four was great last year, is great now, and it will be even better. Let's go, Scottie. It's the kind of stuff where we're going to look at some of the things that happen with Scottie and people, and in a couple of years, they're going to sound so stupid because of how things have happened with Scottie and just how good he is. It's similar to things that have happened with Pascal, people criticizing him, coming down on him. Well, look at Pascal now. Come on, y'all. Where were you 3 years ago talking down Pascal in this way? And now look what he's doing now. That's what I'm saying. We will keep the receipts because the receipts are on social media, and we'll know who didn't doubt, who didn't believe in them, who doubted them, and just talked all this trash when they were down and slandered them. Top saying, I used to write Doug Smith years ago and ask him questions until I realized he had no answers and his ball knowledge was limited, and he preferred talking about things that had nothing to do with ball. Yeah, there you go. Top realize over time. We've got to realize that he took a job that nobody wanted at that time. No, he says it in his book. Nobody wanted to write about the Raptors when they came here. Everybody who did sports here in Toronto wanted to write about hockey, the Maple Leafs, the NHL. And there's a second thought. It's like the jobs were there to just take. At this point, there's so many people that would have grabbed up those jobs in the very beginning around 1995. And that Doug was just this guy who got the poor luck of having to cover the Raptors. In some ways, that's really how he came about it. Is that it's not even that he has a passion for basketball to an extent. He loves sports all in general. And he's not necessarily a basketball first person. It's just he got designated the basketball guy at the very beginning, and it's been his lot since. So that does kind of inform you. Nobody else wanted to cover the Raptors at that time. He stepped in and said he would, but maybe he wasn't that into it even at that time. But he stuck with it because it's been his career at this point. So, yeah, that really does inform you in a lot of ways of where he comes from and why he is the way he is. It's because nobody else wanted to do the job when he took it. Is what it is. PM is here. Good to see PM. He's got the pronunciation. Maliki was awesome. Yeah, Maliki. Mally. Go get it, Mally. That's what Rico Hines was yelling at him at the open coaches practice. Mally, keep shooting, Mally. Hit it, Mally. I loved it. And Maliki, yeah, that's what they called him in one of the games. So one of the other announced teams called him Maliki Flynn. And I was like, is there anyone in this world actually pronouncing the name Maliki? Like, have you ever met somebody named Maliki? No, it's Malachi, you idiot. Who's named Maliki? So stupid. All right, we got a couple of other Atlantic Division opponents here. We've had Nets fans check in. Now we got Philly fan and Boston fan right in a row. Let's see what they're saying. Random Gamer, welcome. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you, Random Gamer. I know you're on break from your semester for a winter break, and you'll be back at school in January. And I hope you get some nice time with your family this weekend for Christmas. Let's see what Philly fans saying. What's up, guys? Thank you for beating the Cavs. You're welcome. One step closer for the Sixers to move up in the standings. We're on a 7-game win streak and haven't moved up one bit. So annoying. Well, that is true. That's what I'm saying. That's why Nets fan was in here thanking us also. Because, look, you guys are all happy about the Raptors beating the Cavs. We don't have Cavs fan come in here. Cavs fan, you showed up in here. You're not smart enough to be in here with the Atlantic Division teams. We're smart teams. Philly fan, Nets fan, Celtics fan, Raptors fan, we can get along and we can talk high-level IQ basketball. Meanwhile, Cleveland, I think you're a little stupid. So I don't think you come in here. You're not smart enough. You come in here, we will roast you. In fact, I would roast you personally because a Cleveland fan, you really do deserve to get roasted by Raptor fan, especially being down 3-0 to us this season. I love it. Yeah, listen, anything we can do to help y'all solid is whatever. Other Eastern teams like seeing other Eastern teams lose, especially ones that are higher in the standings. When a Western team plays an Eastern team, I'm rooting for that Western team, unless it's the Raptors. Anything this way. I know we were your friend last night because we did help y'all out. Let's see what Boston's saying. Maybe it's very similar. Congratulations, freaks, on winning 2 games in a row. Thank you, Boston Sports. That's what's so awesome about the NBA. One day you can be on an 8-game losing streak, and the next you can beat 2 top teams back-to-back in the Eastern Standings. You know what, motherfucker? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to correct you real quick because once again, you're not like Random Gamer and Starscream. You're kind of half insulting us. We did not lose 8 games in a row. We lost 6 games in a row. So don't even try and extend that losing streak. We had a 6-game losing streak, and that's it. You say 8 games, fuck you for that. Maybe we can add the 2 losing streak games the Celtics have had recently to that, okay? If you want to make it 8 games. But no, don't extend it or overemphasize or over-exaggerate how bad our losing streak was. It was a 6-game losing streak. And you saying an 8-game losing streak is insulting. I'll say that. Let's see. The next, you beat 2 top 6 teams back-to-back in the Eastern Standings. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And honestly, when we get to play y'all again, we're going to beat y'all next time we play you too. Trust me, Boston. We're coming for you. And it won't be for a little while. And we'll come to Boston at the end of the season. You'll see us in Boston at the very last week of the season. And who knows where things will be at that point. But you know what? Thank you for being here and being, I enjoy you being here, Boston Sports. I don't want to come too downhearted you. But 8 games? Come on, man. It was only 6. Be nice. All right. Logical saying Top sounds interesting that you did that. Not surprised he had no real answers. I know he always has his mailbag. It's like Doug Smith saying, my mailbag's on Sunday. Please send me questions. You want us to lob softballs at you? How about if he says he wants a mailbag this weekend, we fucking bombard him with questions about how stupid he was with Scottie Barnes this week. Like, why did you write that about Scottie? Or how do you feel about Scottie having such a good game on Friday night after you wrote such a stupid article and you look stupid afterwards? Those are the kind of mailbag questions we need to be sending Doug Smith this week. If he goes on Twitter, he says, guys, the mailbag's open. I'm going to write on a mailbag in the Toronto Star. Let's send him the right kind of questions this week. I'm telling you, Tom Duke's saying you were consistent too, Boston. Respectfully, I won't mention how. Merry Christmas. Tom Duke, I mentioned it. It's enough. But yeah, no, Boston Sports, Merry Christmas to you guys too. And I'm glad we're not playing you on Christmas Day at like 11 in the morning after we won a championship so that the NBA can railroad us to a loss and ruin our family's Christmas like it happened in 2019, in the Christmas 2019. That was bullshit. I hated that. But yeah, you know what? It's this Christmas season. Merry Christmas to Celtics Nation. There you go. I said it. I'm trying to be nice. Tom Duke saying, where were you yesterday? Good luck versus Giannis tomorrow. Probably screwed. Hey, you know, Celtics are not playing well recently. They have lost more games than they've been winning lately, which is really interesting. Really, really interesting to me. But they are back on top as of right now. A half game above Milwaukee this morning. They are 4 for 6 out of their last 10. And they have been losing more games than they've been winning recently. So they're a little scared. But that'll be a great matchup. Milwaukee versus Boston. Somebody has to lose. And we'll have to see who it is. Let's see. Dwayne Greenridge is here. Good morning, Dwayne Greenridge, a great Raptor freak. Good morning, Raptor Freaks fam. Blizzard in the TO, but made it in Cleveland 3s. Made it rain and snow in Cleveland in 3s. I love it, Dwayne. I hope you've been safe during the storm yesterday. Looks like it's a little easier outside to deal with. I'm going to be driving to Oakville today. So hopefully it'll be easy roads, cleared out. And I can get to my family out in Oakville and spend the evening with them. Boston saying, things with the world are all good because the Celtics are back on top, Jack. I don't know about you, but the NBA just doesn't feel right. The Celtics aren't on top. Looking down the list. See, this guy is really asking for it. He really is. I'm a Boston fan. You know, fuck you. You are not being, you're not like Random Gamer and you're not like Starscream. You are being very like this. And like, no, it's not right. Seriously, it is not right when y'all are on top. Honestly, seriously, you do not deserve to be on top most of the time. And you have not been on top. So when is it right in the world that Boston's always on the top? Well, maybe in the recent year, there's been a lot of Boston being on top. But historically, in the last 20 years, Boston at the top of the NBA, yeah, keep dreaming. You wish it had been like that. No, you've had misery and dysfunction and all kinds of stupid shit happen to your team too. Come on. You had Kemba Walker, the whole debacle with him, Kyrie Irving. You know, I can name different things that have happened to you in the recent past. So don't even get it like it's like that. Honestly, it's not like that. In fact, it's more likely that Milwaukee's up on top of the standings, or we are in the last 5-6 years. So don't even get it twisted. Toronto was up there in recent 5, 6, 7 years at the top of the Eastern standings, or Milwaukee has been. It's not been you. You're getting it all twisted with the history. Maybe recently it's been y'all, but wasn't last week. And Milwaukee could beat y'all's asses tomorrow, and you'll be right back underneath. acting like that's where y'all are supposed to be. And once again, yeah, we don't like these kind of comments. Tread lightly. Random Gamer saying, always knew Celtics fans were cocky. See, Philly fans calling it out on you too. That's right. G saying there is a city. All right, it jumped for a sec. There is a city. All right, wow. I really love how much you guys filled it up today, guys. I really do like this. Okay, there is a clip on Raptors Update IG with Mitchell's quote and showing him fouling the heck out of Scottie, literally throwing him down. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. And Donovan Mitchell, I had more respect for you before I heard you open your mouth. And that's just dumb. You didn't need to do that. You could have lost graciously and said, this is a good team. And they outplayed us last night. But you didn't do that. You made excuses and you try to make it sound like we're just a dirty team. Well, we outworked y'all. That's really what happened last night. The Raptors outworked the Cleveland Cavaliers. We played a really solid defensive scheme that our coach designed to stop you. And that's what happened. You can say it was fouls and stuff. Well, it was fouls. The refs didn't call it. They decided to swallow the whistle. Welcome to the Eastern Conference, bitch. That's what I'll say. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying smallest lead in standings possible after your recent team's poor showings on a slide, it looks like. Once again, let's say this, Tom Duke. Boston sports, when they come in here and they talk to us like this is their insecurity showing. That they know that they're in a bad place in some ways, a little stressed out. And this is the way they try and make themselves feel better, is come in and try and say stuff like this. You don't need to be in here doing that. In fact, Philly fan and Nets fan aren't in here saying stupid shit like that. They're confident in their teams to be top Eastern teams, and they know they're on their way and they're going to do fine. Meanwhile, the way you're such a squeaky wheel about we're the best and we have to be on top, it really betrays that you're insecure. That I can look at what Random Gamer and Starscream are saying in our chat, and I'll be like, these guys are confident in their team. They don't even need to talk trash, really, But you are doing this that really does betray that you are a little insecure. Is what I'll say. Scott B saying, then the NBA must never feel right to you because the Celtics are rarely on top and usually collapse at the end. Yes, Scott B, dig those daggers in there. This is becoming such a great green Christmas because we're tearing up the green machine right now. Ooh, you gave me a gift this morning, Boston Sports, by coming in here with your garbage this morning. Let's go. Monique saying the Friday, I won't say that word, is dead. Well, this is true. And I'm glad you brought this up. Once again, Monique hitting a point that we need to talk about today. We had not won on a Friday yet this season until last night. And that's fantastic. It's kind of like we did the impossible. Nobody's beaten Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. We've not won on a Friday night yet this season. Well, let's change all that and let's make it all change the narrative of that. And I won't say that word, Monique. If you type it in the chat, I'll just omit it because I don't believe in that word. That word does not exist, but it is real nice to win on a Friday finally. All right, Boston, let's see what else you're saying here. Tom Duke, Merry Christmas to you and all the freaks. Celtics were going through a rough patch, but we back. Okay, we back. I saw the MVP standings and Embiid isn't in the top 10. Man, that must sting to all the Sixers fans. He's like, now he's kicking Random Gamer. What the fuck, Boston Sports? Like, you're not a gracious winner. You're not like coming in like these other guys from other teams. We can just talk basketball. There's no reason to put people down. Like I said, the way you act on here really shows that you're insecure and stuff like that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes in the new year. Lots of things can happen. There's a lot of season to be played. And we'll see by the time we get to Boston where the season is with both teams. It could be very different and very interesting at that point. Those games may not matter, but those games may very, very much matter when the Raptors come to Boston for the two games that they have to play in the TD Garden, the Toronto Dominion Bank Garden, when we go there at the last week of the season. And yeah, we'll see where we're at that point. And by then, we'll see. Maybe things will be a lot different by then. We'll have to see. Tom Duke saying 2 wins in the last 7 is all you should be worried about is losing. Yes, Tom, get them. Scott B, Tom, get them. Sick them. I'm all about y'all sicking them in the comments right now. All these said Merry Christmas to you too. Mike saying Thad Young has played a lot of games in his career. Not gonna lie, 70 plus games like every year. 14,000 points, a huge accolade. Evelyn's here. Good to see Granny Evelyn. Are you still out west? That's right. She's going to be out there till New Year's, out in California. She's saying, wishing all the very best this Christmas from the beautiful city of Long Beach. She's over there chilling with Snoop Dogg and the LBC. That's right. Evelyn rides that way. She's out on the West Coast, styling and profiling in the California sunshine. You go, Evelyn. Merry Christmas to you, and safe travels. And when you get back, let us know. We appreciate you, Evelyn, and say hi to baby Candace. I hope she has a great Christmas and gets all the little gifts she wants for Christmas. Baby Candace, so cute. All right, Random Gamer saying, I can't wait to play the Celtics, and Embiid drops 50, because why the fuck not? He's Joel Embiid. I don't even know what the MVP rankings look like right now. Listen, I think it'd be bad if Jokic won again, and I don't necessarily think Embiid should win because I hate Embiid. But I'd like to see Giannis win. I'd like to maybe see some consideration for somebody like Pascal Siakam. I do not want to see Jason Tatum win it. So in some ways, I like Antetokounmpo just winning it again. They won't let Kevin win it this year because they said Kevin messed up the team with his trade talk this summer, and that he can't be an MVP candidate for like making so many problems for the Nets right away at the beginning of the season. So I don't know who the proper candidate is. Let's just give it to Luka. How about that? Luka Doncic, you're the MVP. Boom. Then we don't have to worry about any of this. Because I don't want to give it to Joel. I don't want to give it to Jason. I'd give it to Durant, but I think that'd be weird and it wouldn't make sense. But I don't necessarily want Jokic to win it again because I don't want him to be a 3-time MVP. I'd be okay with Giannis winning it. I want Giannis or Luka to win it, really. Those are the two people I'd like to win it the most. If it's not going to be Siakam, which is not realistic, which I wish it was, but it's not. Peter's saying, because Joel Embiid sucks. Yes, Peter, the Saborans are like, all right, they're a little bit like the second line of like viciousness in our Raptor freaks. They're silent most of the time, but if they feel like they need to step up and say something, they will. Thank you, Peter. Merry Christmas. Say hi to David. And yeah. I mean, Random Gamer, we love you. We love a lot of things about the Sixers, but we do still hate Joel Embiid. And that's just how it is. But I do like the sound of him dropping 50 points on the Celtics. I have no problem with that, especially if he falls all over the place. Maybe he hurts one of the Celtics too. I don't know. That doesn't bother me at all. Let's see. Raptors Fanatics saying Open Gym. Let's fucking go. Okay, it got dropped. I guess the Christmas episode of Open Gym is up now, guys. I've been on for 2.5 hours. It's been enough time. You can go watch Precious put the ornaments on his tree now. So Raymond Jacobs saying if Kawhi, Norm, Pascal, Fred, OG are on the floor playing, it's going to feel like 2019 again. I kind of really do want to see Kawhi and Norman come and interact with Fred and Pascal and Chris and OG and just have that vibe like Raymond Jacobs describing right now. 2019 contingency of our championship team will be so strong and fun. And I do want Kawhi to recognize and show that he has a history here in this city and that people here really do very much appreciate him. And that we'd like to show that love to him. We have not gotten that chance, and we will on Tuesday, hopefully. And I know Norman will get it too, but in some ways, Kawhi needs it. Norman kind of got a little bit, and Norman will get it nicely for his whole career, but Kawhi needs to get it because he was a huge part of why we won a championship for sure. Logical saying Flight is the biggest hoop fraud there is, in my opinion. ESPN on crack. They were really bad. Like, in fact, Scottie may have been mad at me for criticizing them, but I would tell you right now, Scottie, you put me on a court with those two guys, I'd beat them. And you may not think that from when you met me, but you'd be shocked to see how well I do against Flight and Aiden Ross in a one-on-one game. Those guys think they're good and hot shit, but they looked horrible out there. In fact, they had no endurance. They looked so tired. They're throwing up so bad shots and stuff like that. So I felt like I could talk shit because I may have license to actually beat their asses because they were really bad. Flight, you know what? You make half-assed little crazy little rap videos on YouTube that I watch sometimes, and they're hilarious. But yeah, you're kind of a joke, man. You really are a joke all around. And that's part of why you're so successful, your reaction channel, is you're a silly, out of control, silly, like you're wild, dude. You're funny, but you are a joke. You really are a joke. And Aiden, too, to a degree. They just are. They're clowns. Top saying Donovan Mitchell and Garland look so confused and frustrated by our D. Right now, Mobley still looks like a role player to me. Yeah, I mean, we did a really good job on their guards. Let's like talk about Garland just a little bit because I didn't really look at his stat line, and he was important in the game last night. He was actually pretty successful to a degree. 6 of 13, 2 of 5 from three. I love that they shot so poorly from three. Just 1 rebound, 8 assists, a steal, 5 turnovers, a minus 12, 17 points. That's not a bad stat line for Garland in some ways, but it is like for what he can do, like being more efficient. But he did do a couple things that really bugged me and were annoying at times. I mean, it is what it is. Mobley's a good player and he's going to be good. But I would say the same thing as we've been saying for Scottie, that Cleveland fans need to treat him the same way and allow him to have the ups and downs. And I don't get down on Evan Mobley. And it's funny, they asked Scottie after the game, it's like, do you make a big deal out of you versus Evan because of how close the rookie of the year is? Like, no, I don't even think about him being on the court or playing against him. I'm just on the Raptors and I'm playing the Cavs. And it doesn't matter that Evan Mobley's out there or not. I'm just going to put my best effort. Well, you won that matchup last night, Scottie. You were definitely the better player from last year in the game last night between you and Evan Mobley. Race mode's here. Good to see Edmund. Great work this year, Lex. It's great to have a place to go to and be Raptor freaks. Merry Christmas, everyone. You go, Edmund. Thank you, Race Mode Daily. And Merry Christmas to you and yours, your family, your sons, and just having a great Christmas. I hope you guys just have big smiles and all the best joy and happiness and all the great things and stuff. Thank you, Race Mode. And it's my pleasure to do this channel and have you guys and talk to you all every day and do what we do. It really is a huge pleasure and I love it so much. I appreciate y'all. It's nothing without you. Tom Duke saying Scottie has to play in TO Tuesday, and that's only 3 or 4 days to chill at home with Cardi. I'm thinking and hoping Scottie is looking forward to some R&R and solitude. Yeah, you know what I'll bet you he's going to do? He's going to be at OVO. He's going to be at OVO like 2 or 3 times a day. And, he's probably going to be very much working with the coaches and not taking any time off. That is the whole reason why he stays here. That's why he was here this summer. That's why Doug Smith's point this week is so stupid and off base. He could have been back in South Beach, down in West Palm, doing whatever the fuck he wanted this summer with his friends on his NBA contract money, doing whatever he wanted. But no, he stayed in Toronto and worked hard all summer. And then he was at Rico Hines that whole time. And it's so stupid, Doug. Like, you really don't pay attention to this team well enough. You really don't. It's passing you by, bro. The new media, with the social media and all kinds of different things, people like me coming up, we can really show how you have holes in what you're doing, and you're just not covering the Raptors correctly anymore. It's just not a world for you anymore. You're a dinosaur, and maybe you do need to go extinct and maybe just move on, maybe retire. I know that you writers can write until you're like 90 years old, doesn't matter. But maybe you should, I don't know. A lot of people are telling you should retire, especially in the last day or so, because it sounds like you should. It really does. Let's see. Tom saying might be wise with all the headaches of holiday time and traveling. Yeah, he doesn't probably want to be in airports and flying down there and coming back. It may be like he does want some time to rest, ailing, nagging injuries that he has on the down low right now, and just take it easy. Maybe he really enjoys his condo here and he just loves having his own place. Like, it feels good to have his own first place. It may be that he's never had his own place until he moved here to Toronto to play for the Raptors. And then he just revels in the independence and being like, this is my house and I live here. It's not the place that he would go to down south. Like, he was in a bedroom in a house of a place where he had parents or people that he was living with, that he was staying at. It wasn't like his house that he lives in Florida. So they very much have to do with, I'm an adult now and I like living in my own house and I don't want to go home because I don't have my own place down there. If I go down there, I have to live with my mom or with whatever person I'm staying with down there, maybe the coach that he stayed with for a while. That's why he's up here in Toronto instead, because he likes his independence. He likes having his own place and he likes being there. And I think that's part of it is. Big four would be King Kong Bundy is my suggestion. You want Big Four to be King Kong Bundy? Well, he's already Andre. That's Big Four right there. That's Scottie. He's the biggest of all of them. So he's not Bundy, because this is who kicks Bundy's ass. No, this is Scottie, and this is Rookie of the Year right there holding it. So when you see Andre behind me, this is Scottie Barnes. He is the biggest and the baddest. And that's why. Scottie is Andre, y'all. And I have a new one for Siakam. I'm going to make this guy Siakam. Of course. That's right. This is Siakam now. Hogan is Siakam, and Andre is Scottie. I'll have to do more of them too. I'll probably have to figure out like OG and Fred too. But yeah, yeah. Bundy is going to be New Jersey. He's actually from New Jersey, and Brooklyn Nets are from New Jersey too. So he's the representative for the Nets, King Kong Bundy. All right, let's see. Mike saying Stunted Growth. Got to check that for sure. Sounds like some really good info. Mike, you're going to love this channel. He's been going for a long time, and it's amazing how he does it. He has like 3 stunts. It's so professionally done. He has like a ton of followers. And it's like he takes, like he did one on, who did he do? He did Stanley Johnson in the last year. And he talked about how Detroit messed him up, like when he was very like drafted. And then he even goes into the whole part when he came here and how we gave him a revitalization and allowed him to go and play for the Lakers. Like with his dream was to play for the Lakers because he's from LA, and him running with the Lakers the last couple of years was really like a dream come true for Stanley Johnson. But he covers people like Stanley Johnson. He said, why didn't Stanley Johnson do better in his NBA career? And he breaks it all down. And some of the cautionary tales have to do with drugs, have to do with violence. Some of them have to do with like getting injured. Some of them have to do getting drafted to the wrong team. Some of them have to do with like a problem with the coach. You know, it's really very good cautionary tales for young players to not fall into pitfalls of how they can mess up their career and stunt their growth for real in the NBA. And that's why I feel like it's necessary watching for a young player like Scott. You need to watch this channel, Scottie, because you can see all the ways that guys fucked up in their career. And it could really inform you to avoid some stuff. So yeah, watch it, Mike. You're going to love that channel. I'm going to tell you right now, Stunted Growth on YouTube, fantastic YouTube channel. Isaac saying, if Donovan Mitchell is a spider that is afraid of water, then OG is a praying mantis plumber taking heads. Ooh, that is very visual. I can see that in my head when I read it. That's fun. OG is pest control versus the Cavs. I like that, G. All right, Boston saying, today I'll be down at TD Garden, Toronto Dominion Garden Arena, handing out food to the homeless. Well, I commend you on that, Boston Sports. So Raptor fans want a plate, stop by. It's Christmas Eve tradition. Well, that's very generous of you. Are you insinuating that we're homeless? I'm in a home. No, that is very nice. And I do commend you for your community work and giving back and doing stuff like this. This is a really important time of the year for people that are in bad places. And another thing, I want to make a statement in general. This doesn't have anything to do with basketball. There's a lot of pressure in society to buy a lot for people for gifts for Christmas. And in today's world, the economics of everybody's life have been stretched so thin because of inflation, because of predatory corporations gouging us with grocery prices, gas prices, everything, and cost of living has gone up. And that I kind of in some ways get pissed off that there's so much pressure on consumers to spend so much at this time of year. I am a big believer that Christmas is your family and experience and being around each other, and not necessarily about getting gifts and giving things to each other, spending a lot of money. And then we built this up so much into that sometimes people feel a little lesser because they can't give gifts to somebody because they financially just can't do it. And then I want to break that stigma. I want to make Christmas more about family again and less about giving things to each other. Sure, it's important for kids to have a Christmas and get gifts and stuff like that. But when you get older, it doesn't really matter, you know. And I think what you're doing, Boston Sports, and this is a really good comment. Out of all your comments today, this is the best one. That you're giving back and you're giving some service to people in your community in this way. Highly commend it. And thank you. Thank you. Because that's a good role model, and that's the right kind of thing to do in this time of year. There's people that need help. I'm riding around downtown Toronto. I see a man sleeping on a hot grate in the middle of a winter storm, staying warm underneath a sleeping bag in the street on the sidewalk. He has to lay on the grate to get the heat from the subway just to stay warm in minus 10 degrees Celsius weather. There's something wrong in this world in a lot of different ways. And we can change it in each individual things by doing things like what Boston Sports is doing today. So I commend you and thank you for giving back and doing stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people on this channel that are doing things like that, giving back and being charitable this season. PM saying OG is Aquaman. I kind of like that he's kind of like Aquaman. That makes sense. Logical saying Kanono is gold and blocked in for me on Koloko. Well, I know you like that Kanono, but I'm still a big fan of Coco. Koloko Beware. I think Koloko Beware is fun because he blocks shots, and you have to beware of him being around, and he could block your shot at any moment. So Koloko Beware is the one I like. I know you like Kanono, and that kind of plays off of Dikembe Mutombo in a way. But yeah, these nicknames are going to come the way they're going to come, and we'll have to see. I know they're not going to call him Koloko Beware. That may be just one that I use because I don't think they know much about wrestlers. And Coco Beware has actually been in the hospital recently. We wish you well, Coco Beware, and that you get better fast and you get out of the hospital soon. Coco Beware, the real wrestler in real life. Tom Duke saying, Boston, what did you do to warrant the community volunteer time? Actually, I probably don't want to know. Probably something you said, I bet. So Tom is insinuating that Boston is not going down to Toronto Dominion Sports Arena today to give food to the homeless because he wants to. It's because he's being punished because he's on probation. He has to do community hours. That's funny, Tom. I don't know if that's true. Isaac saying we had fun guy. Now we have big four fundamentals. Putting the fun in fundamentals. Yes, you go, Scottie. You go, Isaac Campbell. Logical saying OG's family is Nigerian. I believe we're only in the UK briefly before OG was born. Yeah, that's why I think it's weird that he's having such an effect on the UK for making people want to play basketball. I don't know, man. I kind of felt like that was kind of full of shit. That they were saying it's like OG's making people in the UK want to pick up a basketball and play. Really? That doesn't seem totally like it jives, but okay, if it's happening, okay, I'm all for it. Basketball growing, that's fine. Tom Duke saying, Goooooooooo, aka OG's real name has Nigerian roots and means consoler or someone who wipes away your tears. Yeah, I mean, in the locker room, at his locker, the Nigerian flag is above his name, just like Precious. Precious and him have the same flag on their locker. It's not the Union Jack. Is not the stars and stripes. It is the Nigerian flag on his locker in the Raptors locker room. Sue saying, good morning, everyone. I'm super late to the party, but you're still here. Great win last night. Of course, Sue, we're still here. It's almost 3 hours. I'm crazy. Play it again, Sue. Check out her YouTube channel, fantastic YouTube channel where she does music reactions with her friend Chelsea, and they're hilarious. I watched a bunch more of them last night. Really funny stuff. They're doing like Le Freak, Le Chic, Le Freak. Sue, I enjoy your stuff so much. There was something you asked about the other day. You were talking about like the meaning about a song and what the song meant. And I'm trying to remember what the song was. It was a song about it was the samurai swords. And what song was that? You know, they said when they wrote that song, they just kind of liked the sound of it. And that was the reason why they put the sheriff and the samurai swords in the song. I don't know. So I can't remember which song it is, but you were asking about, write in the comments what you think about it. And I was like, man, I should write about it because I am watching your stuff and I am actually kind of like paying attention to like things that you're asking the audience and stuff. And I was like, I'll just talk to her about it on the stream. But it was like you were talking about what the meaning of that song was. I forget what song it was. You've done so many clips. They've all kind of like melded together in my head. But I'm really enjoying them, Sue. You keep going. Mike saying, Lex, big respect. Happy holidays to you and the Yachts. And 94 subs and growing, in big part the Raptor Freak Nation. Massive respect, freaks. I'm a loyal guy too, so I'm here for the long haul. Respect, Mike. And once again, man, I really do enjoy your channel also. This is a YouTube community, and I'll put y'all on blast for sure. You and Sue, Stunted Growth, Basketball Time Machine, Chef. These are all people that I really love and respect. Jubstown Clink is also another one. Monique saying, busy start to the new year as I'm going to about 5 games in January. Raptors versus Bucks is one of them. I'm so pumped. You go, Monique. You bring the good vibes. You are always a part of why we win because your spirit is in the building. And being a real Raptor freak and a real one, you bring the right energy down there when you get to the arena. And we appreciate you, Monique. I'm hoping I'll get to some games in the new year also. I'm sure I will. Sue saying, oh, that will be a great one to see, Mo. Yeah, Milwaukee will be fun. We haven't seen them yet. We need to mess them up like we did last year. We swept them last year, just like we're going to sweep Cleveland this year. And I'd like to sweep Milwaukee once again this year. Why not? I'm sure Boston fan loves the sound of that. Let's see. Logical saying 6-game losing streak is the truth and not an 8 I know. Seriously. Project Truth always. Exactly, Mike. We got to correct them. All right, let's see. What is Boston's fans also saying here? He's always doing this respectfully thing. And like, we know what you mean when you say respectfully. Let's see. Boston saying, in all seriousness, y'all are nice people. I'd be proud to call you Celtics fans. Respect and happy holidays. Seize up, baby. Okay. I might have to ban the Clover from being a emoticon on this channel. No, all right, listen. Boston sports, you're spending the time here with us. I respect that. And you know what? You're not a bad person. You've been good. You have your ups and downs. You're riding high this season. And there's a little bit of a reason to be cocky for sure. You weren't this cocky last year, though. I'll tell you that. Monique saying open gym premiere at 12 just dropped, y'all. Okay, yep, it is out. It just dropped. Okay, I got to get off here so I can watch it. Mike saying open gym after the Raptor Freak stream, then watching my drop at 2. You got a full day of schedule of programming here. Isaac saying, I've always wondered why the mascot on your logo is always blowing smoke. Oh, yeah, talking to Boston. Yeah, what is that? You're like, maybe they're high. I don't know. Boston Sports saying, remember, I say everything respectfully. And that's the joke from the other day. It's like, and you got called out by, I think it was Nets fans, say, when you say something respectfully and then you're a dick about it, it kind of like goes back on all of it. David saying, Merry Christmas, Lex. Merry Christmas to you, David and Peter, and the rest of your family. All the best. PM saying, OG is the bloke from the Big Smoke. The bloke from the Big Smoke. That's not bad. His wrestling nickname is Bobby Lashley, apparently. Canadian Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex and freaks. Let's go. Hope everyone has a great Christmas. Sorry for not being around as much, but always thinking about the freaks. Let's go, everyone. Like and subscribe. All right. Thanks, Bradley. And I know you've probably just been really busy. I mean, you have a big family. You got to get everything ready for Christmas. And then also you guys at Tada, always working. Guys, if you need any help around the house, like some painting done, maybe a little bit of like carpet cleaning, maybe your windows washed, call Tada. They're in the phone book. They can come help y'all out. Cowboy, you go. Merry Christmas to your family. Sue's saying, I have to head out on the snowy streets now. So I just want to wish all my fellow Raptor freaks a very Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Love you all. Heart, heart, heart basketball. You go, Sue. Be careful out there driving. Please, Sue. And we'll see you next time on the stream. All the best. Fun guy saying, oh, shit, I just did my Christmas shopping and still here for part of your stream. You the best, Lex. What a win. 2 in a row, baby. Fun guy was here for the beginning, went out, did his Christmas shopping, came back, and we're still on. That's what we do here. Yeah, you go, fun guy. That's right. Blackhawk saying happy holidays, y'all. I love it. I love seeing all the happy holidays and Merry Christmas for everybody. Peter saying happy holidays to all the freaks. I actually don't mind the Celtics or the Sixers, but my Xmas wish is for Joel to become a basketball player as opposed to an actor who's always flopping around like a fish. Oh, what a great Christmas wish, Peter. That's very giving. And, I would not waste my Christmas wish on something so stupid. But you're such a nice man. To do that. And I'm not saying you're stupid for wanting that. It's just like, what? Who cares? Joel's going to be a flop artist. That's just who he is. Logical saying everyone's touching in. I love it. Fiercey's got the nice emoticons and saying happy holidays, fam. I love it, Fiercey. A great Raptor freak also. Somebody from Scottie's stream at times. I think, weren't you there at times too? I think I'm a fun guy saying, oh, wow, Tom, with the Nigerian knowledge drop. I think OG is Igbo tribe. Precious is maybe Yoruba. Not sure. Cool. Awesome. Hey, any more specifics and information about the Raptors? The Raptor Freak always loves to know. Let's see. Tom Duke has got 100%. And he's saying, happy Raptor Freak family Christmas vibes. Let's go. Thank you, Tom. Chet McIntosh, a new name. I like to see new names. Chet, please join us every morning, 9:30 a.m. If you can't make it every day, that's fine, but I will be here every morning. You can always check in on me. I have a wrestling question. Ooh, I like this. We go all over here. You have received one move. It's either okay. I have to receive either 2 moves. Either I get the Yokozuna Bonsai drop, or the Rikishi Stank Face, or the Mankind Claw in the mouth. Also, are you giving away any Bitcoin for the holidays? I don't have anything to do with Bitcoin. We do have prizes that are going to people for winning the Fantasy Basketball Yahoo League and the Trivia League. And right now, that's Tom Duke is getting that Vince Carter signed UNC jersey. And then we've got David Saborin, who is leading the trivia to get the fake Vince Carter bobblehead. if I had to pick one of those three moves, I'd probably pick the mandible claw. And it's because I've listened to Mick Foley's podcast recently talking about that move and how he came up with it, who suggested it to him, because he didn't want to do the Nestea drop anymore, the Nestea punch or whatever he did, that crazy drop. So he had to change his finisher to the mandible claw to give him more mileage in his career. And it is a little stanky. And when he did it with the sock, it was gross. But I'd much rather deal with that in my mouth than that big, huge ass of Rikishi Fatu stink facing you, or even just the trusting of Rodney to drop himself from the top rope onto you with his butt. That's dangerous, because he has broken sternums and crushed people for real. Because in some ways, he can't totally catch himself. So I would take the mandible claw by far. By far, it's just him putting his hand in my mouth. It's not like he's putting any pressure on really and really hurting me. It's just I got to deal with Mick Foley's hand in my mouth. And that's the easiest thing to deal with in this situation. But Chet, thanks for the wrestling question. And if you want to come in and give me a wrestling question regularly, I'm happy to answer them. But there's your answer right there. Definitely Foley's mandible claw. Logical saying Stunted Growth is in line with my fad part one and how they kind of screwed his growth long term. Definitely going to take a deeper look. I think I might have seen the Stanimal one, though, not going to lie. Yeah, I don't know who he's done this week, but he's always got at least one clip coming out a week. Like, he does all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, he did a whole thing on the Nets' big three being a failure and why it was a stunted growth. He did an episode on the Nets franchise and them messing up the big three and how that went wrong. He did a stunted growth on the Lakers and why they're such a dumpster fire and why they're so bad too. I love it. I love those ones. They're fun. But yeah, and some of the old Raptors, I think he did Keon Clark recently too. I think he did one on Keon Clark and why he got all messed up. And he talked a lot about his alcoholism on that clip. So very interesting. Let's see. Fun guy saying, my day is done. Now I'm just running some COD all day. Maybe fire up some Infinity Warfare. Cool. You go, fun guy. Stay nice and warm on a Christmas Eve, and happy holidays to you. David saying, isn't he like half British? If so, it makes some sense. I don't know if he's actually half British. I think he might have just been born there. You know, he doesn't have any kind of accent. I don't think he actually was raised there in any kind of way, because like, you don't hear him like throwing in some sort of weird British accent from time to time, O.G. Anunoby. So I'm like, I don't know about it. Like, David, I think he's fake British. He may be just British because he's born there. Like, my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, was born in Britain, but she has no British accent. And she may be like, oh, this is where I'm born and stuff. Like her ties to England and stuff are really just like the birthplace. But I don't really think she's like spent a whole lot of time there or really gotten in touch with like that heritage or culture of her life. But they are going there next year, apparently, and they'll be visiting and stuff. But I think it's more like that. It's like he was born there. And it may not be that he's very shaped British-wise. So I don't know. That's why I thought it was so weird. Lodge was saying it's like when Americans move to Canada and have kid born here, but they can apply for dual citizenship from parents' rights as American citizens. Yeah, that's what it is. His parents were Nigerian and probably from Nigeria, born there. And they came to the UK because his father was a doctor, and a very good doctor, apparently sought after. And he may have just been doing his work in the UK at the time when OG was born. Then he started practicing medicine in Missouri and moved the whole family to Missouri. And that's where the Anunobys, where he actually grew up, was in Missouri. So OG spent more time in the US, I think, than anywhere else in his formative years. So that's the whole story with it. And his father was a surgeon, like a doctor, a very high-level doctor who has passed, sadly. Let's see. Greatest Raptor of all growth. Happy holidays. Oh, greatest Raptor freak of all time, I guess. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Let's see. Like saying I'm taking the sock too. Yeah, that's just a smart way to do it. I mean, it could be clean. That was a great question by Chet W Stream. Nameless saying the stink face. No, I wouldn't take that stink face. That's a horrible stank face. No, we don't want the stank face. You'd be throwing up. And yeah, let's get done right before 3 hours. Monique saying W Stream Lex, especially today, too. Go Raptors. Always keep at it. Thank you, Monique. And I thank you for putting the 5 Raptors starting lineup out there. Just a real quick recap. The Raptors own the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't care what y'all say. And because of that, we own the land, y'all. The Raptors own the land. I'm sorry. Donovan Mitchell, if you're a Spider, you got squashed against the wall by O.G. Anunoby with a lead pipe because he's a plumber. Yeah. Robin Lopez. Let me just say, all right, I want to say this real quick before we finish up. Fuck you, Robin Lopez. What is that dirty ass shit you trying to lay across Fred VanVleet? You looked a little bit like Randy Macho Man Savage dropping an elbow drop when you fell on him. That was not necessary, and you did that on purpose. We know you did that on purpose, and it was dirty as fuck. Like, you falling on Fred and then not getting up off of him, I could tell Fred was pissed off and like, just get off me. Because you were probably rolling on him with all your weight, trying to hurt that man. So dirty, Robin Lopez. And fuck you, you sideshow Bob motherfucker. You are a clown. And I hate the Lopez brothers so much. And that was so dirty what they did to Fred. It was kind of like that weird celebration the other day the Bulls had on John Collins. John Collins laying on the floor and they all piled on him. What are you doing to these players? So Robin Lopez, pick yourself up and don't be doing wrestling moves to our captain. That was wrong. And if Fred is hurt because of you, any kind of weird internal injuries, because a big, huge, stupid ass sideshow Bob looking motherfucker fell on him, I'm going to be mad because he didn't deserve that. And it was really like messed up that you just laid there on top of him for a while. Like, what was that, Robin Lopez? You were so annoying last night. You stupid ass little bank shot and all that dumb shit you did last night. Fuck you, Robin Lopez. Oh my gosh. Peter's saying it didn't feel right to say my wish was for Embiid to get run over by a bus. Or is it okay? It's all right. You know, you don't want to wish that anyway. You know, I want to worry about, like, I shouldn't be talking about wanting anybody to get hurt or anything. We just went through such a bad patch of injuries with the Raptors, and we don't want to have that kind of world. We want everybody to be safe and healthy and at their best abilities, because the best teams against the best teams are the best basketball. And we always want everybody to stay safety and healthy. And none of this hurt stuff like Robin Lopez doing fucking Macho Man Randy Savage elbow drops on Fred VanVleet on the sideline. That was bullshit last night. Fun guy saying, I hate Robin Lopez. We need Ibaka to knock him straight again. Yeah. Well, we knocked him straight with our game. That's what we did last night. But yeah, fantastic job. Three-headed monster of Pascal, OG, and Scottie. Fantastic stuff. Freddie, great stuff as the captain. Really good rotation by Nick last night. I really like the 8 players that he played. And fantastic stuff off the bench by Flynn and Trent as sharpshooters. Juancho, very good stuff also in the starting lineup. We cut the water off on Donovan Mitchell. I'm sorry. We own the land. We are the landlord of the land now. It's just how it is. I'm sorry, Cleveland. We grinched your ass. We streak busted you. And that's just how it goes. Let's go see if the Clippers have a streak on Tuesday. Maybe we can continue to streak bust. I'd love to do more of this kind of work. Thank you guys for joining me. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Christmas Carol, a special parody song. I really do have some Weird Al in me. I know how to write a parody song, and it's going to be so awesome. You guys are going to love it. I'm excited about it because I've shown it to a couple people, and I've had an overwhelming response so far. So enjoy your Christmas Eve tonight. Tomorrow I will have a gift for you, and it'll be a parody song about the Raptors to a Christmas Carol. It's 9:30 tomorrow morning, and that's about all I'll do. I'm not going to do a whole lot otherwise. It'll be a very quick clip tomorrow because it's Christmas, and I want y'all to be spending time with your family and doing things like that. And then on Monday, I'll have a Monday memory for you guys. No trivia yet still. Sorry, David. Just want to really kind of like get like the beats of the off season into it. It's like it may be not many trivia games until after the season's over for us. Until the end. Who knows? We'll see. Tom Duke's got the gifts out. I love it. Nameless is saying OG was beating everybody with a galvanized black cast iron pipe. That's probably one of the best quality pipes you can use and stuff like that. All right, y'all. Thanks again. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and let's go Raptors. Merry Christmas. And y'all look out for Scottie